Collective. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am the Nosy Witch and this is my channel, Nosy Witch Tarot. This reading is titled, What are your most envied attributes? Who is lime green jelly of you and why? So this reading is all about that person in your life who is secretly, or maybe not so secretly, jealous of you. In terms of theme, this reading will be on the lines of a previous reading that I did. I think it was called Respectfully, WTF is Their Problem or something like that. This reading will be kind of similar in nature. Obviously, this person who is jealous of you might not have a problem with you other than the fact that they are jealous. This could be somebody who, openly admits that they are jealous of you, in which case, maybe they aren't giving you any kind of problems, but maybe you still want confirmation on who this is. I think for the most part, this might be a person who is like secretly jealous of you, but it could also be somebody you know about. So if you are interested in that style of reading, please stick around. We are about to get into it. Okay, so as soon as I sat down to do this reading, I realised that I had made a massive mistake because I am not even wearing lime green nails. I am wearing red nails, red and white nails, which is just a travesty. Like, I know that I should have worn green for a reading about jealousy and about envy, so I'm sorry that I didn't do that, but I have tried to make it up to you by displaying some green stickers here that you have to choose from. Well, they're kind of green anyway. I got these stickers ages ago for journaling and things from Etsy. So I thought I would use these today. So at least we have a kind of green theme with the stickers. So I will talk you through these stickers and the piles in just a moment. But as usual, once you've chosen a pile, your reading will be split into two sections. The first portion of the reading will be your oracle reading, where we will look at a few of the oracle cards in your chosen pile. And in that portion of the reading, we will kind of have a look at the overarching energy, your most envied attributes, what people are jealous of in terms of you, the things that they envy, all of that. And then in the tarot portion of the reading, we will be talking more about maybe who this person is and the specific things they might be jealous about. We are just going to go into a little bit of further detail with that before closing the reading, probably with some advice from another oracle card deck. The oracle deck that I will use for the closing portion of the reading is yet to be decided, but in regards to any of the oracle or tarot decks that I use today, I will pop the names of them in the description so you can go online and find them yourself if you would like to buy your own. Usual disclaimer, please remember that these are collective readings. Not every single detail is going to resonate, and that is okay. I wouldn't expect every single detail to resonate. If you are finding that nothing in your chosen pile is resonating for you, you are always more than welcome to go back and choose a different pile. If you are finding that none of the piles are resonating for you today, that is also okay. Maybe this isn't your reading right now. I do set the intention that these readings will be timeless. Maybe this will be your reading at some point in your life in the future. If not, don't worry, there are plenty of other readings and plenty of other readers out there for you to go and explore. If mine doesn't resonate with you, you do not have to accept it as your story. I would encourage you to use your intuition to pick a pile today. If for whatever reason you are feeling disconnected from your intuition, then you are more than welcome to use a random number picker online in order to choose a pile for you. Once you have chosen a pile, please go ahead and have a look at the description below or have a look at the pinned comment below. I will pop the timestamp down there. Also, if this reading is a little bit shorter than usual today, it is just because I have been struggling with a cold and a sore throat, and my throat is still a little bit sore, so I might not be able to talk for as long as usual. Obviously, I don't know if that will be the case yet. I've not done the readings yet, so it might end up with me just waffling on as usual, and it might still end up being quite long, so we'll just see. But I just wanted to give you a heads up if you are wondering why it's a bit shorter. And also on the topic of waffling, I just want to thank every single person who came and made the effort to leave me a supportive comment on my last community post. It really does mean so much to me. It really gave me a confidence boost on a day when I really needed it. I was struggling with a lot of self-doubt, and I just can't thank you enough. It really does mean a lot to me. I know I tried my best to reply to the comments, but I just wanted to mention it again because It just really does mean a lot. I know probably not all of you will watch the intros, and that's fine. But it is a weird feeling being a content creator, even though I've got like an incredibly small channel. It is strange how vulnerable it can make you feel. And obviously, you know, I've just started putting content out there. I started this in January. My hope was that somebody would find it and it would help someone. And I know that some of my videos have been getting, you know, fairly good views, some more than others, which is absolutely fine. Obviously, I'm still finding out, you know, what people like to see and things like that. So I don't expect loads and loads of views on every video, but I know I have a few supporters out there who are, you know, consistently watching me, and I'm just so grateful. But at the same time, it's a bizarre feeling knowing that, you know, people are watching you and you don't necessarily know who they are. And I just want to say that, like, I don't want anyone to feel under pressure to comment. Just the fact you are here, the fact you are listening, that all means such a lot to me. And you don't have to comment or anything like that. I know for a fact that, you know, before I started doing this channel, I was a total lurker. Like, I never commented on people's videos. I would like them, I would like engage with them in that way. I would subscribe to people, but I would never comment. I would read through the comments. I read through all of the comments. But I would never really say anything. So I understand, you know, sometimes when you're a more introverted person, you just are there to watch and you don't want to engage with people in the comments, and that's fine. But I just wanted to say that the feedback and appreciation that I received on that community post really made my day. It really made me smile, and it's really lovely to know that you guys are enjoying the content and you want to see more of it, and that some of you are okay with my waffles, because I know that they can be a bit much sometimes. So I honestly just can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it. But I don't want to go on too much more, because I know this is probably already becoming a long intro, and you're here to see the content, you're here to see the Oracle and Tarot reading. So we are about to take a look at the stickers. Just a little reminder to please like, comment and subscribe if you feel able to. And if you haven't done so already, that would all mean the absolute world to me. Okay, with that out of the way, let's have a little look at the piles. So the stickers that I'm using for each pile are these tarot style stickers. So over here we have pile 1 and the coffee. We have pile 1 and the coffee. Over here, we have pile 2 and the unicorn. That is pile 2 and the unicorn. Here we have pile 3 and the nap. We have pile 3 and the nap. And over here, we have pile 4 and the eye roll. We have pile 4 and the eye roll. So once you've chosen your pile, please go to the description box below or go to the comment section below. I will pin the timestamps in the comments. I will also leave the timestamps in the description. If you click on the timestamp for your chosen pile, that will take you to the start of your reading. Thank you so much for being here, and without any more hesitation, let's get started with the reading. Hi Pile 1 Collective, welcome to your reading. If you chose Pile 1 and you chose the coffee sticker, this will be your reading. This reading is titled, What are your most envied attributes? Who is lime green jelly of you and why? This is all about who is jealous of you, secretly or not so secretly. If you would like further information regarding what this reading entails, then please check out the introduction, or please look at the pinned comment below. That will tell you a little bit more about your reading, or you can also look at my description. Without much more hesitation, we are about to get started with the reading, but in case you haven't done so already, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would all mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so, so much. With that out of the way, let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you, Pile 1. Okay, so we have got number 32, Nature. We have got Consciousness. And we have got number 9, Phoenix. How's that for a happily ever after? Okay, so when I look at the oracle cards, the first thing that I usually like to do is have a little bit of a chat about the numbers on the cards because that is just, extra confirmation for you if these numbers are significant to you in some way. I always interpret the numbers as, this could just be a number you are seeing a lot of in terms of angel numbers or synchronicities or something like that. However, it could also be a significant age. So obviously over here we have number 32. So this could be a significant age for you or that person. This could be an age you or this person is now or an age you are approaching. With the number 9, it could also be that, you knew this person since you were 9 years old or something like that, and that might give you a little bit of a clue about who this person is. It doesn't have to be the case. It is just, I like to mention the numbers for a little bit more clarification if you need it. Okay, pile one. So, one of the first messages that I'm getting with this particular pile is that one of your most envied attributes is your natural beauty or even your very nature, the very essence of your being. And I know that sounds really strange, but it could be that you are just naturally beautiful in terms of the features that you were genetically blessed with. A lot of people could be envious of you because they believe that you are this natural beauty. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking for a second, well, maybe this isn't my pile, nosy witch, because I have dyed hair or I have lip fillers or I have this and this. I don't always present as being natural or I love makeup or something like that. You could do or enjoy all of those aforementioned things, but I'm telling you, pile one, that there is something in your nature that other people, it's not like necessarily so much about your looks. It could be genetic features, as we mentioned. You could have perfect facial symmetry or just pleasant features. However, I think it's just something more about the essence of your nature that other people would like to capture and almost like harvest for themselves. And they are jealous that they can't quite capture those aspects of you that they would like to. I want to say it's almost a vibe you give off. Like there is something about your nature, the way you carry yourself, that is just very enviable. I think it's very attractive. I think it's very alluring. And for that reason, it's like people want what you have. They want to kind of take some of that energy for themselves. But I think it is more a vibe. I'm getting very sort of divine feminine energy from this pile as well with the nature card. So it could be something within your nature that people are envious of in terms of you sort of being this very sensuous, gentle, beautifully feminine being. And you do not have to be a female for that to apply. Sorry about the ice cream truck siren in the background, by the way. If you can hear that, I can only apologize. It just keeps going off. The window is shut. Maybe that's a sign, like maybe you are envied because when you come in the room, there is something very distinctive about your energy and people notice it. It's like a siren, not in a really annoying way, like a really loud and abrasive way. Just in terms of like it's this energy that you elicit, this special thing that you manage to capture that other people want for themselves. They envy it, but they aren't able to like hold it in their hands the way that you are. There is just something so beautiful, I think, and sensuous within your nature. And yeah, like I said, you don't have to be a female for this to apply. I say divine feminine because that is just what's springing to mind. It's giving me a very sort of like Mother Earth vibe. It could be that you are a mother yourself, or you really connect with nature, and this is one of the things that is envied about you. Like on a sort of more jovial level, it could be that friends of yours have said like, oh, I'm so jealous of you because when we go and visit somebody's child or somebody's dog or something like that, maybe the dog or the child like always gravitates towards you. They always want your attention. They're always smiling at you, or the dog is like jumping up on your knee for a cuddle or something like that, or the child wants to play with you. And maybe it's like people are jealous of that because I think you really give off this very nurturing energy, this very gentle, caring energy. It could be people are jealous of the way that you handle tense situations because, as well as sort of like getting gentle and nurturing, it's giving a very calming vibe. Like, I feel as though you are able to maybe talk people down from difficult situations. You have a really soft, calm vibe about you. You don't sort of fly off into a panic, or at least people are jealous because it doesn't appear that way on the surface. Even if you are thinking to yourself, I am in a blind panic, like I am going to cry, I am going to break down or something. It's like you come across as quite stoic, I think, on the surface. We got stoic in one of my other readings as well that I did recently. So maybe you picked that pile in that reading if you listen to it. I'm not sure if it was the last one or the one before that, but I'm getting stoic again. So it's like I think you are able to maintain your cool, and people are very jealous of this. This is one of your envied attributes. Maybe this works to your advantage in terms of you like working well under pressure, or it appears that way. So maybe in a job role or something like that, people are envious of the way that you are able to handle those situations with such grace, and you are still able to maintain a level head when maybe other people aren't, or something like that. It could be that certain people are jealous of you, talking about natural beauty and things like that. It could be that if you go into work and you don't wear very much makeup or something like that, maybe people are jealous because they're like, Pal One barely seems to wear makeup and they look amazing at 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. I don't know how they do it, or something like that. And maybe this is something you don't know. If you feel like you look rubbish when you go into work or something like that, well, I'm telling you that other people don't think you do. Oh, that ice cream truck again. I'm so sorry about that. Like, it just keeps sounding every 5 minutes. I will try and reduce the noise when I do editing. Thing is, it's like chucking it down outside as well. It's raining really heavily, so I don't know who is getting ice cream, but not me. So yeah, sorry about that though. And if that isn't the case, if you are a person who loves to put makeup on or loves to dye your hair different colours, you love to be less natural in terms of your beauty, it could be that people are jealous of you because they recognise that, even though you might do those things, it's like they are saying to themselves, but Pal One doesn't have to do those things. Like, Pal One is naturally stunning or naturally handsome, whichever applies. So it doesn't matter if you are wearing no makeup or a full face of makeup. It doesn't matter whether your hair is dyed a natural colour or that is just your natural colour, or your hair is dyed a crazy colour or something like that. It's like no matter what you do, people are like, well, Pal One could literally wear a bin bag and they could still look stunning, like they could still look amazing or something like that. And that is something that is very much envied about you, regardless of, how you style yourself, because nobody is better than anyone else. Like, whether you prefer a more natural look or you prefer to go full glam, like whatever you decide, it doesn't make you better or worse than anyone else. People just like to, have their own style and do their own thing. But no matter what you do, it's like people are jealous and envy the way you look because you always look good doing it, and they realize that you could look very good doing it, whether you came to work in a full glam look or you came in a big brown sack. Like, people are just envious of the fact that you can look good no matter what. With this consciousness card showing up, and this being imagery of the brain, I actually think that one of your most envied attributes is your brain. And don't argue with me, Pal One. If you are sat there and you are thinking like, I haven't got a big brain, or my brain is the size of a shriveled pea, I am not that smart, then I want to tell you same, but also intelligence comes in many different formats. So this isn't me saying that you necessarily have to have had like all A's in all of your essays in all of your subjects at school or anything like that. But I think there is something about you. It could be in terms of like the way you understand other humans. So maybe your knowledge of psychology or of human psychology, or just generally of understanding people. I think people are envious of this because I think you are able to pick up on things that others do not. It could be that there is something about your brain that works so differently to other people, or at least they perceive it that way. So it could be that you are neurodivergent yourself or something like that, or there is something in terms of the way your brain operates, the way it is different, that allows you to think of things from very different perspectives than other people. And of course, I understand that, we all have different perspectives, we are all individuals, but I think a lot of people in your life are jealous of your creativity. I think, when you express certain ideas, I think even like friends of yours might be like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. And they might be supportive of you, but I think they can sometimes be a little bit envious because it's like the ideas you have are so amazing and sometimes so out there that, a lot of people haven't thought of anything like this before. So it leads people, some people to think like Pal One is a genius. And I know that sounds a bit out there, but it's like you put a complete new lens on all different kinds of topics. You really do. Like, I think people have a conversation with you, and because of this sort of difference in your brain chemistry, the way your brain works, or something like that. And you don't have to be neurodivergent, that doesn't have to apply, but it could be that people have often told you that you were weird at certain points in your life, or you might have often been the kind of person who said something and people would respond like, whoa, where did that come from? That came out of the blue. It could be that your mind is good at things like pattern recognition, or like just picking up and analysing things that other people are not able to. And this might have been something, Pal One, that has made you feel othered at certain points in your life, like it's made you feel different in a bad way, especially, if we are talking about bullies at school and things like that. School wasn't fun for many of us. And I think, it is interesting, a lot of us who gravitate more towards spirituality and tarot and things like that, I think a lot of it comes from a place of people continually misunderstanding us. Sorry, the ice cream truck again. It clearly will not shut up tonight. So maybe, that is spirit trying to tell me something or something like that. But what was I saying? But yeah, it is interesting how a lot of people who are intrigued by that kind of thing, I think it comes from a place of wanting to understand others so deeply, because maybe in our past we haven't always been listened to ourselves. We haven't had people try to understand the differences in the way our brains work or something like that. So I think it comes from, wanting to constantly seek knowledge in that way, and wanting to, really understand the human condition and get to the bottom of why people think and act the way they do. It could be that you are very knowledgeable on all those kinds of things that involve like spirituality and human psychology. You could be very interested in crime shows and interested in learning about the way that serial killers' minds operate or something like that, to try and comprehend all of those things on a deeper level. And it could be that people are very envious of all this knowledge that you hold, the fact that you know so much about all these different things, and also the fact that you can understand the human condition in these ways. And all those times that maybe in the past you felt different or othered, I think people, even back then, were maybe envious of the different way that your brain worked, how creative you were able to be, how you were able to retain certain kinds of information in the way that you do, perhaps how you are able to articulate yourself, maybe how you are able to empathize, because I'm also getting, a strong sense of empathy and also a strong sense of like moral integrity coming through. So it could be that almost people are like envious of your moral integrity, like your ability to stick to your values and to have some really profound opinions on moral issues, moral topics, or something like that. Maybe people are envious of your ability to discuss controversial topics with a lot of nuance and a lot of empathy for multiple sides, or something like that. It's like you are able to really see the heart of things. You are able to go deep. You are able to cover a vast array of topics. And I think that's something that people envy, your ability to tap in. Oh, I'm getting like collective consciousness. So maybe you are like a tarot reader, or you are somebody spiritual yourself. You are somebody who practices these things. And it's like maybe people envy your ability to tap into that collective consciousness and really understand people at that deeper level. Of course, it doesn't have to be spirituality. That is obviously just an example. It could be anything. It could be that you have a very science or maths orientated brain. I didn't mention that previously because that is not the example I often gravitate towards, because I am like terrible at maths and science and anything like that. But it could be the case for you, and if so, I think I'm jealous of you. Like, maybe I'm the one who's jealous of you because I do not do numbers, but it could be sort of whatever you do in the world. People are jealous of your big brain and this level of consciousness that you possess. In terms of signs, and I may actually roll the astro dice in a few minutes after we've looked at all the cards, but in terms of signs I'm getting so far, obviously nature does make me think of earth signs. And again, these don't have to apply. This is just like further confirmation for you if you have these placements, if these are significant to you. So with earth signs, we have Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. However, with the consciousness card, that is, I feel like I'm probably going to say pretty much every sign here. Again, these don't have to apply. It's just a little bit of extra confirmation. But with consciousness, it's making me think of air signs. So that is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and actually one more, because with this Phoenix card, obviously the Phoenix can often be associated with Scorpio, of like rising from the ashes, transforming, becoming the Phoenix. So that's also making me think of Scorpio, and we will talk about this Phoenix card a little bit more. So I definitely feel with this Phoenix card that people are jealous of your ability to transform yourself, your ability to change, and your ability to grow. It could be that you have experienced a number of transformations in your life, maybe like tower moments, if you want to call them that, or something like that. Times when you have been forced into shifting, into changing, into growing in some way, and people are envious at the way you have been able to do this. And pile one, like whether you feel this way or not, because obviously this card says, how's that for a happily ever after? And I'm not saying that you should feel like you are in your happily ever after era if you do not feel that way at the moment, but I think other people who are envious of you, they are jealous of you because they feel like no matter what, you have landed on your feet, like you always land on your feet despite what you've been through, despite these traumas, these tower moments. It feels like you always rise from the ashes and you always end up in this happily ever after. Again, I'm not saying that you have to feel that way, like on the inside. If you don't, then you don't. But people, maybe it's like you don't always reveal, because I kind of get this like stoic energy with you. So maybe it's because you don't reveal that you're going through a lot or that you have been through a lot. Maybe people assume that your life is perfect, or you're in your like happily ever after, or everything's going well for you, and this really makes people envious. But maybe they don't always realize like the things that it has taken to get to that point, or the struggles that you might have faced, or even the struggles that you might still be going through. So in the tarot portion of the reading, we are going to talk a little bit more about who this might be. However, the kind of energy that I'm getting at the moment in terms of who is lime green jelly of you is that potentially it could be a number of people, but maybe for some of you, this is like an old friend who you have maybe outgrown, or a previous partner, or just somebody in your life who you have maybe had to take a step away from because you have outgrown them. Because I think you are somebody who has really had to expand your mindset, and with this consciousness card coming through, and with the Phoenix, which always just, makes me think of transformation. It's like maybe you have grown and developed a lot as a person, you've expanded your knowledge, you've changed your mindset about certain things, you've just grown up, and maybe some people in your life are like jealous that you've been able to move on to sort of bigger and better things in that way. You've been able to come out of this hardship and rise from the ashes. Maybe certain people feel like they've been left behind, or they feel stuck in one particular mindset, in one particular way of living. They haven't been able to transform their life in the way that you have. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like this grand thing. For some of you, it might be. It could literally be like you have been able to move out of your hometown where you felt as though you didn't have as many options in terms of career or in terms of the things you wanted to do with your life. And maybe you have literally transformed in terms of moved out of that location, and you have tried to create a better better life for yourself. Or maybe it's just something as simple and sort of superficial as you being able to transform your body, like if you are on a weight loss journey, or if you are developing your fitness, like you are trying to build muscle or something like that. It could be that people are jealous of those ways that you have been able to transform your body or just yourself in general. It could be many things, and it's going to be many things for many different people. But I think it's definitely giving me the energy. Whoever this person is, the person who is most jealous of you, I think you give this energy out to a lot of people. Like, this is one of your most envied traits, is your ability to transform yourself, your ability to heal, to rise from the ashes, to be new, to resurrect in many ways. But I think particularly this person who's jealous, maybe they are like, well, I still feel stuck right at the bottom. I feel stuck down here, and Pal 1 has managed to transform themselves, and Pal 1 is like above and beyond me. So they're kind of in their feelings about that, or, something along those lines. But that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, Pal 1. We are about to move on to the tarot portion. I think I will just roll the astro die to get a little bit more confirmation. So let's do that now. Pal 1. Okay, so we have the North Node, we have Virgo over here, we have Virgo, and we have the second house, which is a Taurus house. So second house. So interestingly, the second house coming through, obviously associated with Taurus, so that's kind of what we were saying with Earth energy, if that is significant. But the second house is often associated with value. And we're inclined to think that this relates to material value, like financial assets. That is usually where my mind goes to when the second house is mentioned, money matters and things like that. And this could be the case, like if people perceive you as being in a phase of your life where you are doing better than them financially, if that's how they see you, it could be that people are envious of that. The example we gave about you moving out of your hometown, or maybe not necessarily that. It could be like you getting a new job, a better job, and just moving on with your life in that way. Maybe earning more, getting a better income or something like that. It could be that people are very envious of you for that reason. And to them, it feels like you've left them behind. But I think sometimes, we just naturally outgrow people. That can happen. And, you can only do so much as well, Pal 1. Like, this person has to be responsible for bettering their own life. And maybe they haven't been able to step up into that responsibility. And, with the Taurus and Virgo coming through, Taurus in particular, is giving me a very stable, calm, grounded energy. So maybe this, again, like we said in an earlier portion of the oracle, maybe this is something that people are envious of, your nature, your grounded nature, your stability. It could also be with Virgo coming through. Again, this makes sense in terms of the consciousness card, because Virgo is associated with Mercury. Gemini is also associated with Mercury, and I believe we did mention those two signs. But it could be that, people are envious of your Virgo nature, like maybe your perfectionist tendencies or your analytical nature, your ability to perfect something, to really work on your skills, the commitment that you give that with that Taurus energy. And of course, your intelligence as well, what you bring to the table in terms of that. I think just in general, Pal 1, that people are jealous of you going out and making a better life for yourself with this North Node showing up, because that can often talk about destiny, like something we were meant to do. Perhaps you are somebody who, like, if you have had a spiritual awakening recently, or, just at some point in your life, and that put you on more of a trajectory of discovering who you really are and who you want to be, it could be that people are jealous of this discovery that you've made, because maybe they don't feel in a place where they fully know what they want to do and what they want to be. So maybe it is worrying to them that you have kind of glowed up and moved on to something else, or that you are doing something else, or you are fulfilling your life purpose if you are on that journey. I think people are quite envious of that. I think they feel held back, but I think the person holding them back is them, and I think they are comparing their journey to your journey. And I think you are somebody who appreciates that, we are all on our individual journeys. What works for some people is not going to work for others, and vice versa. But I think this person is just, continually comparing their experience to yours, and They are jealous of the way you've been able to make these changes in your life, the way you've been able to transform. With us talking about like moral integrity as well, it could be that values could mean your literal values. Like maybe people are a bit envious and resentful of values that you hold, and maybe, you know, if you express what your values are, it's like people feel jealous that you are able to commit to those values or something like that. This could be in terms of like religious or spiritual beliefs, or a dietary practice like being a vegetarian, for example, or something like that. That doesn't have to be the case, but it's just one example. Please take it in whatever way it resonates to you and your personal values. But it's like people are very envious of the fact that you can stick to something, you can be consistent with something, you don't give up easily. I think that is the thing that people are envious of. So that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, Pal 1. We are now going to move along to the tarot, so I will see you in your tarot reading. Hi Pal 1 Collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pal 1. We have the Tower, we have the Page of Wands reversed, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Page of Swords reversed, we have Death, we have the Chariot in reverse, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, we have the 7 of Cups, and we have the Empress. Okay, Pal 1, so a lot of this is definitely aligning with things that we talked about in your oracle reading, particularly, you know, with the Tower card, the Death card, and this Empress card coming through. That is all giving very much a you energy. And I think the thing with you, Pal 1, one of your most envied traits is the fact it feels like you are always sitting pretty. I keep getting the phrase sitting pretty, and I don't know why, but with this Empress card, it's like you are very much perceived as somebody who honestly doesn't get flustered by anything, who is able to remain in this sense of calm regardless of what is going on around you. And I feel like one of your most envied attributes is, like we said, and I don't want to repeat myself too much in terms of what we said in the oracle, but obviously these, you know, similar messages are coming through in this part of the reading. So with the Tower and the Death card showing up, a lot of what makes people jealous about you is this ability to transform yourself, because I think a lot of people don't always realize that you have actually been through a lot, because I don't think you are extremely vocal about the things that you've been through. I think you are continually shifting, you are always transforming, and people, you know, get to see this new or elevated version of you throughout all these phases in your life. But they don't necessarily get to hear about all the healing that has taken place in order for you to get to that place, in order for you to have become that person. I don't think you're always like talking about your struggles, even though the struggles might have been significant. And I do get the sense with you that like you have been through it. Like I do think obviously with this Tower coming through, it's like, you know, things, I think if it was anyone else, this could have really shattered them. Like it could have got them down, and it could have made them like not want to try again. But I think the thing with you, Pal 1, is that like things have got you down, things have pushed you to your breaking point. You may have been shattered, but it's like, again, you're this phoenix and you resurrect, you come back a stronger and a better version of yourself. And I think this is something that people definitely envy. I think, you know, they look at you, and even if they don't know your whole story, they might think like, you know, this person can take such a lot and they can come back better, they can come back anew. It's like they can start again. And I think you are somebody who you have had to start again and again and again at various times in your life due to situations that you have had to deal with. And it's like the people who do know you and they know a little bit about your story, they are envious of the fact that it almost seems as though like nothing can break you. And I think a lot of people, a lot of other influences, let's say, have tried to break you. and it hasn't happened. Again, you have risen from the ashes throughout all these, different transitional periods within your life. But I think for certain people who are jealous of you, maybe it is literally because they see you, being this new version of you. And maybe they don't realize what it's taken for you to get to that place. They just see you as this, like, almost, I want to say like new beautiful creature, but I don't mean it as in like you are a creature or anything like that. Like, I don't know, the example of you coming out of the cocoon and, presenting yourself as this beautiful butterfly, let's say. But the person who is jealous of you, it's like they don't know, how long you've been in that cocoon, how many processes it took for you to get from this caterpillar to this butterfly. I know that is like the most obvious metaphor ever to use, but that is just what it's making me think of. So I think, it comes down to that saying of like, hurt people hurt people. So I'm really getting the sense that somebody who might be jealous of you, it could be somebody who you knew in high school or something like that, like a long time ago. It could even be like somebody who bullied you in high school or something like that, or a frenemy of some kind. I don't know why I'm getting the word frenemy, or someone within your friendship circle who, seems to harbor a little bit of resentment towards you for some reason, and maybe you have never been sure why. And it's like, I think this person has gone through their fair share of tower moments, but maybe they have let it get the better of them, and they have maybe used those incidents as an excuse to wallow for longer than what was necessary. And obviously, we all are on like our own healing journeys. Tower moments, they can absolutely break us down, and it can be difficult to come back from those moments. I'm not saying it should be like an overnight thing, but I think this person, instead of, taking that tower moment and using it to transform the way that you have, it's like they've allowed this tower moment to make them into a version of themselves that they don't really like. And it's like, I think they look at you and it's almost that you're presenting them with like what they could be if they hadn't have let these tower moments ruin them, essentially. So I'm not saying that, this other person has never been hurt. I think they have. I think they've dealt, with their fair share of tower moments and being forced to transform, but they haven't always transformed in a way that was in alignment with who they actually were in terms of their best self or something like that. I really feel like this specific person who is jealous of you, or who is the most jealous of you at the moment, is definitely someone who would continually use excuses as to why they can't do better. So this would be the kind of person who, if you confronted them with anything that they had done wrong or anything you disagreed with, they would always use it as an opportunity to victimize themselves. And they would always retaliate by saying something like, well, you don't know what I've been through, or you don't know how hard I've had it, even if you have had it hard as well, and you don't use it as an excuse. And I'm not saying like everyone is going to be exactly the same, but it's like this person continually uses their experiences from the past as an excuse to behave however they want to, even if they know deep down that, the way they're behaving isn't in alignment with who they truly want to be morally. It's like they are still very much in a victim mentality, I think. So I think a lot of people are very jealous of your profound ability to release the things that aren't serving you, your ability to transform, to let go of things that are no longer in alignment with you bettering yourself. With this Page of Swords, I definitely feel as though this person who is jealous of you is likely to be somebody who comes across as quite sarcastic, or maybe they have been more this way recently. Because as well, with this 10 of Wands, I'm very much getting that, this person could have been under some kind of stress recently. They might feel as though they're burnt out, or that they are tied to something, or that they have too many obligations. I'm not saying that you don't have responsibilities, pile one, but it feels like this person could potentially be comparing their responsibilities to yours, and they might be upset with some of the choices they've made. It's not to say that you have less responsibility, but it's like they are comparing their life to your life, and they are viewing you and your life as being so much better. And I think they are quite resentful of maybe not having made what they feel is the right choice. And this is showing itself in terms of them being, quite envious towards you. And honestly, like, I think they're a little bit cynical at the moment. So this could be the type of person, when I say cynical, that's coming through with the Page of Swords in reverse, but it's making me feel as though this will be the kind of person who projects a lot onto you. So let's say this is a friend or somebody who you've known for a while, somebody in your friendship circle. I think this person could potentially gossip negatively about people. That could be an indication of how you know who this person is. If they are somebody who, frequently gossips about people, I think a part of their jealousy presents itself as them maybe gossiping about you. But it's like, I think a lot of what they say, they project onto you. Just as one example, this could be the kind of person who tells lies frequently or something like that. Let's say this person fibs a lot. Let's say they fib, they lie about things, they manipulate the truth. And maybe you are aware of this, but it's like maybe you are not a person who lies because you have integrity, you prefer to be honest. That's how you prefer to show up in the world. So maybe you make it a point to never lie or to lie as little as possible. And maybe, like, I don't know, let's say you have plans with this person and you have to cancel because your child is sick and you need to take care of them or something like that. So you explain to this friend, my child is sick, I need to be here, I need to go to the doctors, and I need to look after my child. Like, let's rearrange or something like that. Something, normal, like things come up in life, these kind of things happen. That is just part of life. You usually understand. If you are friends, you can rearrange. No big deal. But it's like this person will be the kind of person to make it a big deal. And they project, like they might say to you, well, I think you're lying, I don't think your child's really sick. And this might make you feel bad, pile one, but the only reason they're accusing you of lying is because that would be something that they would lie about. So now it's like they're twisting their own behaviors and making out. I think in their mind, they genuinely feel as though, because they participate in these bad behaviors, these more negative behaviors, they assume that everybody is like that. I think they're quite cynical in the sense that they don't realize that, some people can actually be good, honest people with integrity because they don't always act in that way. And this could have become more apparent to you in recent months, I want to say, or just recently in general. This person's jealousy could show up in the way that they talk to you quite sarcastically. It could be quite difficult sometimes to know whether this person is joking. This could be the kind of person who, like, sometimes they might say something that you interpret as a little bit like off, or it sounded a bit like a backhanded compliment or something like that. And maybe you say to this person, like, oh, what did you mean by that? And then this person kind of plays it off and they're like, oh, no, I was just joking, like, and then they'll turn it back on you and say, you can't take a joke, or you're being too serious, or they were just messing around, it wasn't that serious, it wasn't that deep, or something like that. And you're kind of thinking like, but that comment came from somewhere. And it's not that you're taking it too seriously, it's that you can kind of read that this person is feeling some jealousy and resentment towards you. But every time you actually try to get them to have a more serious conversation about it, they just play it off as like, oh, they were joking, they didn't mean it, or, you're too serious, you're the problem, you're taking it the wrong way, or something like that. And it's actually kind of manipulative, like it is a little bit gaslighty, because it seems like this person will say these things to try and get some kind of a reaction out of you. And then when you do give them a reaction, it's like you're the problem all of a sudden. I also feel as though, pal one of your most envied traits is the way your brain works so uniquely. Your ideas, your creations, the things you bring into the world are so uniquely you. Like, you cannot be copied. The things you think and say and do, they cannot be duplicated. And I think this person goes about establishing their own sense of identity in all the wrong ways. In the oracle reading, when we were kind of saying certain people want to like capture your essence, they want to capture a little bit of what you have got and take it for themselves. It's like this person is always thinking about how they can do that, but they are never really getting it right. And for one thing, like, obviously they would never be able to get it right because you are you. and there is no capturing your essence when they are just not you. But also, it's like I think they often try to do this through a very superficial lens. So, with this Nine of Pentacles, I think this is the kind of person who thinks that material items will fix all their issues. And instead of working on themselves, because I think, Pile One, you have done a lot of that inner work. These transformations that you've had, yes, some of them might be physical glow ups. You might have gone through periods of changing your style or having a fitness routine of focusing more on the physical, and that might have in turn changed your outer appearance at certain points in your life. However, I also feel as though you have done a significant amount of inner work in terms of spiritual growth and healing, and this is something that this person is continually avoiding, and then they wonder why they always end up in the position that they're in, and they're jealous of you for being in like a perceived better position because you've actually done the work. But it's like this person keeps missing the point when it comes to that. I think they think that, you know, doing a haul will fix all their issues. And look, like, we are all guilty of trying to fix our problems, trying to fill the void by buying, by consuming, by ordering material items. But it's very frustrating for this person because they get so close to being self-aware sometimes, but then it's like they miss the opportunity to properly develop on a level that isn't just based on the superficial. And then they're like, add to basket, like, let's do another Shein haul or something like that. This will fix, like, I think they think if they just change their image, if they do XYZ, if they get a new hair color, like if they dye their hair, if they buy some new makeup, if they buy skincare or something like that, they will suddenly feel like they're a new person. And yes, those things can work for a while in terms of giving us that dopamine boost, making us feel a bit more confident. There is nothing wrong with treating ourselves, but ultimately, material items aren't going to fix the void. They're not going to fix the emotional problems we might be facing or the issues with our self-esteem. And I feel like this person, you know, they do focus more on what's on the outside when they should be looking inwardly, like what's going on the inside. But this person just avoids that. And then it's like they're jealous of you that, you know, they don't have this special thing that you have, but you have that thing because you have done your inner work. And I think, you know, this is just something that this person isn't grasping, but they are continually comparing themselves to you. Maybe they convince themselves that, you know, it is to do with your looks. Like, if this is somebody who is jealous of you in terms of like them seeing you as romantic competition or something like that, it could be that they have literally tried to change themselves to look more like you because they think that if they adopt your style or something like that, they will also adopt this beautiful essence of you, when obviously they won't. But I don't know, it's like they're missing the thing that makes you you. They don't have that, and they can't quite pinpoint what that thing is. They just know that they want it for themselves, but obviously they're not going to get it. But it could even be like this person has dyed their hair or cut their hair in a similar style or colour to you, or, you know, you have a particular feature, so maybe they have like gone out and bought that feature. I know that sounds weird, but it was just making me think of like, if you have full lips, maybe this person went out and got lip fillers just to look like you. And don't get me wrong, like, nothing wrong with getting fillers. I'm not saying that's bad, but I think if you are changing the way you look to look like another person rather than that actually being what you want to do as an individual based on your own validation and feelings, then I think that's when it becomes an issue. So maybe this is somebody in the past who you have sensed has like copied you in terms of your sense of style, or even tried to replicate certain features that you have or something like that. But ultimately, like, they will never be you. The Nine of Pentacles can also talk about living beyond means. So this could be somebody who is constantly in debt or is constantly asking for money, is begging people. Or do you know what? Like, you know, when we spoke about this person continually victimizing themselves, it's given me the impression of somebody who continually gives people sob stories about what's going on in their life, and they say like, I can't afford my rent, I can't afford food, like I can't put food on the table. But then they will go out and buy lip fillers, and they will buy clothing hauls every week, and they go on holiday all the time or something like that, and they seem to be able to afford these things. But it's like, if they can try and get money out of somebody and use a sob story to do that, then they will. And it could be that, you know, this person falls out with people quite a lot. Maybe this person ends up flitting from friend group to friend group because eventually people catch on to these kind of games that they are playing and they don't like it. Obviously, this person, you know, doesn't act with honesty and integrity, so people get quite fed up with it. This person ends up losing their friends, and then, you know, they play the victim about that too. They're like, oh, such body fell out with me, I don't know what I did, I didn't do anything wrong, it was all them. But you know, this person is problematic. This person is very problematic, but they don't really like to acknowledge where they are the issue. They just like to victimize themselves and blame other people. And I think one of your envied attributes, pal one, is that you are so not like that. Like, you do take responsibility for your actions, and I think people are very jealous of your drive and your ambition towards a goal and your ability to take responsibility in that way. Like, you are not acting in this childish way of just blaming other people for anything that goes on in your life. You actually, yeah, you take accountability. You are in the driver's seat of your life. You know how to take control of the things going on in your life. And I think, you know, this person who's jealous of you, they really don't. With this Chariot in reverse, they feel completely powerless to the things going on in their life, but it's because they are unwilling to take action. And actually, to be quite honest, they can be quite lazy. They aren't dedicated towards a particular goal the way that you are. I think with the Seven of Cups as well, they fantasize a lot about, I think they are the kind of person to fantasize about getting the acclaim, but they don't want to actually work hard to do that. And I think they are jealous and resentful of the fact that you do work hard, you do put in a lot of effort in terms of going after a goal. With this Knight of Pentacles, it's like you are committed, you are just steady with it. I think we said stoic in the oracle reading, and you know, the Knight of Pentacles can sometimes talk about being stoic. So it is giving me that energy. It's like you know how to hold yourself accountable and go after something, to commit to something, to do things step by step, to take it easy and give that time to yourself, but ultimately, like, you know how to show up for yourself. And I think this person just doesn't know how to do that. I don't think they know how to commit to anything. I think this is the kind of person with the Page of Wands in reverse. They just throw tantrums when things do not go exactly their way. They also, I don't think they're as creative as you. I do think they envy your creativity. I do think they get distracted easily. They get quite bored easily. They start an idea and maybe they give up on the idea quite quickly. And they are the kind of person where, like, if they don't see instant results, they will immediately give up. So they don't give their ideas the opportunity to grow. And I think they're quite envious of you, because if you ever were in that kind of energy, you have definitely shifted and transformed your life for the better. And that is something that they are currently not able to do. And, you know, they just remain in this lime green jelly envious of you energy for that reason. We are just going to finish this reading by looking at a little bit of guidance from the Soul Truth Oracle deck. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the card we pulled for you. Okay, pal one, so the card we got for you is Am I Afraid to Be Seen? And I'm just going to read out what's on the back. So this says, the world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding, there is no more shame, there is only truth. Live naked and free. Today's soul action, what parts of me do I hide so I can be socially accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so I can be safe to be seen? Journal your answers. So this could be calling you to do a little bit of journaling, particularly pal one, if you are struggling in terms of, you know, working on a creative project or something like that. Something where you have to put yourself out into the world and be confident and really show those aspects of yourself. And maybe you are concerned, you know, if this person is, because this could be the kind of person who would put you down for putting your ideas into the world like that. They would make you feel as though you were silly for doing that, or that you shouldn't be doing it, or something like that. They might approach your desire to put your creative projects out into the world from a bit of a sarcastic angle. So I think this is telling you to really go with what your soul is telling you to do. It's all very well this other person telling you that you can't do XYZ or it would be silly to do XYZ, but ultimately, if you look at their life, would you want their life? And if the answer is no, why are you listening to this person? Like, what do they have to offer you that yourself cannot offer you in terms of validation, in terms of fully showing up and supporting yourself? I'm not saying we should never listen to the advice of our friends and family if we are asking for advice and our friends and family tell us that something might be a bad idea, but it is just about who to really listen to that criticism from, and is their criticism coming from a place of genuinely wanting to help us and be loving, or is it just coming from a place of spitefulness, of resentfulness and bitterness? And ultimately, that is something that you will have to figure out, pal one, in terms of this person. But please just ask yourself whether their opinion is coming from a good place, and if they are criticizing you for doing something that your soul is truly aligned with, then is that an opinion that you really are willing to take on board, and is that what you want to listen to going forward? It's just, something to think about. I don't think you should let this person hold you back from doing the things that you want to do and pursuing your dreams, especially if you have worked so hard to transform yourself. That is what I am getting for you, pal one. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please like the video, please comment, and if that's all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean so, so much to me. Thank you very much, pal one, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Pal 2 Collective! Welcome to your reading. If you chose Pal 2 and you chose the unicorn sticker, this will be your reading. This reading is titled, What are your most envied attributes? Who is lime green jelly of you and why? This reading is all about who is jealous of you, secretly or maybe not so secretly. If you would like further information regarding what this reading will entail, then please check out the introduction, or you can have a look at the pinned comment below or my description below. That should give you a little bit more info. But without any more hesitation, let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Oh, also, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, please comment, and if that's all possible, please subscribe. That would all help me so, so much, and I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's actually get started now. Okay, pal 2, so we have the unicorn sticker, we have pile 54, Wrath, we have Mortality, and we have card 24, Potion, Remember to practice self-love. Okay, firstly, I always like to start by mentioning the numbers on the cards. These don't have to be significant, it's just a little bit of extra confirmation. If they are, it just means you chose the right pile, you're in the right place. So we've got the number 54 or the number 24. These could be significant ages. Either you or this person who is jealous of you the most could be 54 or 24, or these are just significant ages. Maybe you met this person when you were one of these ages. Like maybe you met this person when you were 24 or they were 24, or you were 54 or they were 54, or something like that. It doesn't have to be the case. These could also be angel numbers, numbers you are seeing a lot of in terms of synchronicities or something like that. As well, I just kind of like to mention astrological signs that I'm getting in terms of the imagery that I'm getting on the cards. Again, these don't have to apply, and I will be rolling the astro dice anyway towards the end of the oracle portion of the reading, but I just wanted to mention the things that are popping into my head straight away, just in case that does give you a little bit of extra confirmation. So with the kind of orangey warm energy coming through on the cards, with the Wrath card, and that kind of reminding me of like fiery energy, I am getting fire sign coming through, fire sign energy. So that could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. But with Mortality coming through, again, similarly to pile 1, where we got the Phoenix card, death always reminds me of Scorpio energy. So mainly I'm getting Aries, Leo, Sag, I'm getting Scorpio, but also with you picking the unicorn sticker, I'm getting a little bit of Aquarius, just because, Aquarius is always perceived as very unique, very distinctive, a little bit of a trendsetter. So with you picking this unicorn sticker, I'm definitely feeling as though you kind of have those vibes of being very much in your own lane. I think people really envy you for being unique, for being in your own lane, for setting trends, for doing things your own way and not being afraid to do that. I also think that people are very envious of you because you are not afraid to stick up for yourself with this kind of fiery energy that you have. It's like you are not afraid to show people your wrath if they deserve it. It's like you are not afraid to stand your ground, to stick up for yourself and other people around you. I don't think you are somebody who will be told what to do. I think people are often envious of your rebellious nature, your inability to take things lying down. I don't think you will ever take things lying down. I think if somebody does something to try and put you down, I think you are more than happy to put that person in their place. I think they will feel your wrath. You are not afraid to express yourself, express your emotions, and express your very valid anger when it is needed. In terms of the main person who is jealous of you, this is a bit of a strange one and it might not apply to everyone, but I'm getting the sense that this person might be older than you. Now, this doesn't have to be significantly. Maybe in a few instances, this could be an older colleague or just somebody in your life that knows you that is significantly older. Like if you are 24 and this person is 54 or something like that. I know this is very specific, but this could even be a parental figure or an older family member who is actually jealous of you. And maybe this is somebody where you have felt like in the past, this person has potentially tried to control you because they are trying to live vicariously through you, particularly if this is a parental figure of some kind. Maybe it's like they wanted to experience through you all the things that they didn't feel they could achieve, they could do themselves. So it's like maybe this person pushed you extra hard in terms of academics or in terms of your hobbies, or maybe they criticized you overly or something like that. Maybe they criticized your body or your image a lot or something like that, and this led to you having certain insecurities or issues in that kind of way. I know that sounds very specific and that might only be for a few people, but I'm really getting this sense of somebody older than you having a lot of jealousy issues with you, because with this mortality coming through, it's just making me think that some of you, it's like you make this person jealous because you make them think of their own mortality. So by that, I mean, like you might make this person think, oh, pal 2 is going out living their life and doing XYZ and, you know, being unafraid to be unapologetic, because I really get that sense with you. You are unapologetically authentic, unapologetically yourself, and you're not afraid to be different and you're not afraid to stand up for yourself with this, you know, fiery energy and the Aquarius energy coming through. So I think maybe, you know, this person who we're talking about, it could be like they feel like it's too late for them. Like they feel like they are edging closer to, I feel like I'm wording this in a really weird way, but like they're edging closer to their own mortality from no longer being in this material world or something like that. And it's like they see you doing all these things, being unapologetically you, and it makes them feel as if like they will never get the opportunity to do that, or it's too late for them or something like that. And I think this makes them angry. I think they have a lot of internalized anger over this, because it's like, oh, it feels too late for me. And, you know, if I knew, you know, at the time that I was pal 2's age that I could be this way, then I would have done it, but I didn't know that at the time, and now it's too late. Now the opportunity has passed me by, the opportunity's been missed, and I won't ever be able to do these things that pal 2 is doing. Now, this could be in terms of, you know, things that were once considered more taboo, becoming not as taboo or something like that. Like, and they feel as though they missed the boat on this and they're no longer at an age where they could do this particular thing, and they see you doing this particular thing and they're jealous of it or something like that. They're jealous that they never got the opportunity to do it. So one example, and I know I always give this example, I'm sorry, but if this is in terms of like sexuality, it could be, you know, something like being non-monogamous. And that doesn't have to be the case. I know that's going to apply to like 0.2% of people. So don't get offended or anything. Like, I don't mean that has to be you, but I just mean that as an example of something that, you know, is becoming more accepted in society. But equally, it could be something like you are openly bi or openly pansexual, and, you know, that wasn't accepted when this person was younger, and now they feel like they didn't get the chance to explore their sexuality, or they are closeted or something like that. And maybe this has led to a buildup of resentment within them because they didn't feel as though they could express their true identity. And they are jealous of you because you are always authentically yourself. And they feel jealous that you have a safer space to be able to do that. And when I say safer space, those aren't my words in terms of like, I'm not saying that you have never dealt with struggle for being who you are, like if it is to do with sexuality or anything like that. But I think it's just this person acknowledging that things were vastly different at the time that they were your age or something like that. And that is why they perceive you as having so much more freedom, so much more ability to be yourself. And it does make them very envious because they just feel as though they never had access to that. And they see you doing all these things. And I think it just makes them seethe with the jealousy. Like, I think sometimes I would be surprised if this was completely secret. I would be surprised, pal, too, if you didn't at least have some sense of somebody behaving in this kind of resentful way towards you. And maybe this is always somebody where you've been like, you know, I am nothing but nice to them and they are so rude to me and I don't know why. I think it is this jealousy and this buildup of resentment that they can't live authentically like you can, or they don't feel as though they can. They feel as though it's too late. Now, if it's not someone significantly older like that, it could just be that they are somebody who is a little bit older. Maybe there's a few years between the two of you, but it feels as though they are on a time limit for something. And I think this person just feels as though you have more time than them to do the things that you want to do. And it's like they feel as though they've run out of time and they're comparing themselves to where you're at in life. And I think maybe they're just not happy with where they are. So it's like they're jealous of you for having the time to do the things that they can't. So if it's not somebody significantly older, it could even be, you know, let's say you are 35 and this person is 40 or something like that. And it could be to do with them thinking like, well, Paltu still has time to have biological children or something like that. And maybe this person just feels as though you are somehow further along than them. So let's say that it is about having children or something like that. Again, that's just one example. It doesn't have to be this particular thing. I was just thinking of things that unfortunately, you know, even in this day and age with advancements in science, people are to a degree still on a time limit for. And I'm not saying you can't have a child at 40, but let's say somebody has got to that age and they haven't found the person for them yet, and they are worried that they won't be able to go on and have children or something like that. Maybe they are in perimenopause or something like that. They can feel that in their own bodies, and maybe this is something they are concerned about because they compare themselves to you. And if you're, say, like 35 and you've just got married recently or something like that, and you are going on to start a family, it's like this person is jealous because you are able to do all the things that they feel like they will never have access to because they're going to run out of time. They feel like they're on a clock. They feel as though there is something pressuring them to get these things that they want to do done. And again, the having children thing was just one example. It doesn't have to be that specifically. It might not be like they are biologically on a time limit or anything like that. It could just feel like due to the circumstances of their life and their external environment, there is some kind of time limit, there's some kind of countdown, and there's something putting pressure on them. It could even be like their own mental health struggles or something like that. Maybe they look at you being unapologetically yourself, stepping into your power by just being who you are in a very raw and unfiltered way. Maybe you put yourself out there in terms of like social media. This doesn't have to be the case. It could even be that you are some kind of content creator yourself, or you put your artwork out there, or you speak openly on social media about certain moral issues or something like that. And it's like maybe the thing that is killing this person, the thing that reminds them of their mortality, is that they want to get out there and do these creative projects or talk about these things or be a content creator, but they have kind of created a prison of their own mind that is keeping them trapped. So maybe it's like they're jealous of you for simply being able to put yourself out there, and it feels like they will never be able to do that. It feels like they are just counting down till death or something. And I know that's really dark, but it's like maybe this person is struggling with really being themselves and fully accepting themselves, and they see you being so accepting of yourself and the things that you have to offer, and they see you being so confident and being able to put yourself out there. And I think they just think that is off limits to them, and it makes them incredibly jealous. Sorry, I know we've spoken for a long time about this person, and that was going to be more like the tarot reading. We were going to be discussing this person, but this energy is coming through so strongly that I just felt as though at this point I wanted to mention something about it now. Maybe this is, further confirmation that this is your pile. If you do have someone older than you who you sense this from, whether they're significantly older or just a couple of years older, it's like they are constantly comparing themselves to you and worrying that they are going to run out of time and that you are going to get to experience all these good things that they feel like they never can or they never could or something like that. And if this is like an older person we're talking about, it could be even something as simple as like you know a lot about social media or about marketing or about how to use a computer, like how to use technology or the internet to your benefit. And maybe this person feeling as though they will never be able to catch up to you in that way. And maybe they would like to create content or they would like to do a job where, they had the benefit of having like marketing skills or knowing how to promote things on social media or online or something like that. And maybe it's this person being jealous of your skills and your knowledge in that department. And maybe, this person could be like a little bit stuck in their ways and like unwilling to learn those things even though they could. So maybe it's this person being envious over you and your abilities in that way, and them always feeling like you will have the upper hand in terms of being able to do that kind of thing. I'm also getting something about maybe like your opinions and your views on certain moral topics, maybe making this person feel old or feeling like it's too late for them to change their mindset or just learn new things or shift in terms of their values and to be vocal about that. It's actually quite funny because I feel like this person could have a lot of like similarities with you deep down, maybe in terms of like if they were younger, maybe their personality leaned more towards being like yours. Maybe if this is an older person, like in their day, they were rebellious, they were an independent thinker, they wanted to go and do XYZ and do things that were a little bit different and unconventional. And maybe at some point in their life that got like shut down. They weren't able to do that, and that part of themselves sort of got depleted over time as they adapted to the society that they were living in, and they learned how to be more conventional. It's like they felt they had to fit in because there was no other option. So it could be that there is a lot of built up resentment because they see so much of themselves in you, but now they know that they don't have the opportunity to explore some of these things, or they feel like they don't. And maybe in terms of like mindset and opinions on certain topics and things like that, maybe they are a bit set in their ways and a bit stubborn, because if they were to admit that actually like they agree with some of your points, it would be them admitting that you are, I'm getting the phrase like the better version of them, like you are all the things they wanted to be but could never be, or something like that. That's not coming from me. This is, how this person is feeling about themselves. This doesn't have to apply, but I'm getting something about you maybe being prevalent in activism fields, or you protesting for worthwhile causes, or you being vocal about certain injustices within society or something like that. And it could be that, this is the kind of person to, because they are like jealous that you are able to really assert yourself in that way, this person could kind of roll their eyes or argue with you about some of the things that you're talking about, and they could sort of undermine the things you're saying or try to make you feel silly which I don't think you do, because I think you are quite secure in yourself and your opinions, and you are secure in knowing that you are investing in these worthwhile causes for a good reason. But I think one of your most envied traits is that you have a big impact on people. With this mortality coming through and that making me think of like Scorpio energy and the death card and things like that, I think you make a big impact on people's lives. I think one of your most envied attributes is your ability to shift and change opinions and to actually help transform people's lives and to make a huge and powerful difference in this world in a very positive way. I think people are really envious of that. And with this potion card coming through, I think one of your most envied attributes is that you have it all, or people perceive you as having it all. You have everything you need in order to achieve success. People see you as incredibly powerful and successful, even if you do not believe you are powerful. It's like people see you as having all the ingredients of essentially a perfect recipe in the form of being a human being. So it could be that like you are powerful in the way that you know how to use all of these attributes that you hold within you to your advantage. Now this could be like your beauty, your intelligence, and your empathy, or something like that. It doesn't have to be those three things, but it's like you have the basics for an ingredient that could really change someone's life. And I think you do change people's lives around you. But it's like, let's say, you know, that example, if it is beauty, intelligence, empathy, I think people are jealous. You know how to utilize all these things in order to get what you want and ultimately to try and make the world a better place. So it's like you are somebody who, like, I think people are jealous sometimes because if you use your attractiveness in order to, I was going to say solicit people, and I don't mean solicit people in that way. I don't know where that word came from. I don't mean like solicit people. But if you use your attractiveness, your pretty privilege, or something like that in order to create positive change, it's like people really envy that you can do that. People envy that you have that power. People envy the fact that you acknowledge your privilege and you use it for something good or something like that. I know this is like a really random example and it doesn't have to be this specific example, but what I'm thinking of is, do you know when celebrities do calendars where they pose naked? They do these sexy poses in order to get people to buy the calendars, but the proceeds from the calendars go to a worthwhile cause, like go to a charity or something like that. It's giving me like you doing something like that, using your sexuality or your attractiveness in order to like lure people in, but it's for a good cause. And you being unafraid to do that, and maybe some people really envying that about you, the fact that you are not afraid to utilize all of your good qualities in order to get what you want. And you know, if we are talking about that one specific person in particular who is jealous of you, I think that they are jealous of the fact you are multifaceted. You have all of these ingredients that they feel like they don't have. They feel like there is something in the mixture that they are making that isn't quite ready yet, that can't be fully shown, and they feel as though you have everything, like you have it all. You have all of the spices, you have all of the syrup, you have everything that is needed to make this potion, this recipe, great. And it feels like they don't quite have it all. They are missing a couple of ingredients or something like that. So that is what I'm getting with the oracle portion of your reading, pal 2. We are just going to roll the astro dice, so please bear with me. Pal 2. Okay, pal 2, so we got Sagittarius, we got Saturn, we got Saturn there, and we got the second house, which is associated with Taurus. And it is interesting because we also got the second house showing up in the previous reading. So with Sagittarius coming up, you know, Sagittarius is associated with Jupiter, which is the planet of luck. It's the planet of expansion, of abundance. So I think people envy you because Again, they see you as so abundant in the sense that you have everything, like you have it all. People look at you and feel as though you are blessed. So, for some of you, this might be on a more superficial level, like they look at you and aesthetically they're like, wow, Paltu is blessed in the genetics department in terms of your body, your appearance. But equally, it could be about those deeper things that we mentioned, your ability to be completely authentically yourself. So it could be that they see you as abundant in the sense that you have it all, like the looks, the personality, the authenticity. You just shine very, very brightly, and just people presume you are very lucky, you are blessed. Maybe they presume this has just kind of fallen into your lap, like this is just who you are. Maybe people perceive you as, because of your multifaceted nature, because of your expansive nature, they perceive you as somebody who opportunities flow to naturally, like because of your vibes, the way that you are open to these opportunities coming to you. You could have significant Sagittarius placements or Jupiter placements in your chart. It could be that the specific person we're talking about is jealous of, your optimism, your confidence, your ability to land on your feet, and maybe being like popular. And I'm not saying, if you're here and you're thinking like, well, I wasn't popular in high school or anything like that, like I got bullied, that's fine. Like, you don't have to be popular in that way. But I think in the community that you're in, I really do think a lot of people like you. I think a lot of people love you and a lot of people gravitate towards you. I think there is something very charismatic about your energy, and I just think you have this real joy about you. And as much as you're not afraid to like put people in their place if that is required, I think you can also have a real laugh with the Sagittarius energy coming through. So it could be that, people see you interacting with other people and they are envious of your ability to make other people laugh, bring joy to the people around you. It could be that people are jealous of your sense of humor and, your ability to be funny and to tell a good joke, as well as your optimistic spirit. With Saturn coming through, it's definitely making me think of, this specific person potentially feeling restricted, potentially feeling like there is a barrier between them and them achieving the same level of success that you have or that they perceive you as having. It could be that people are jealous of your ambition and your achievements in a career sense, in terms of your ability to expand your skill set, to learn new things, because Sagittarius is all about learning. It's like ever expanding knowledge. So it could be that people are jealous of your ability to pick up on things easily and to try new things and to adapt to new situations relatively quickly in a way that they can't, or something like that. And it could be that this specific person is jealous of your reputation, because maybe you have a very good reputation in the sense that people are always singing your praises, people are always talking about the good things, the positive things that you do, even if this is behind your back. It could be that people within your family or your friends are always almost like bragging, like bigging you up, hyping you up about the things that you're doing, the things that you are achieving, or even just things as simple as like the way that you look, the way that you dress, the way that you carry yourself, or just your personality and your joyful, optimistic nature in general. It could be that people talk about this and this person gets jealous every time they hear about it. They're like, I'm sick of hearing about Paltu, and this kind of wrath comes out because they know that they might have some of this potential within themselves, but they're not able to fully explore it. They feel restricted in some way. They feel like they can't have, access to the full depth of who they are. So they don't like hearing about all these things that you can do, all the things that you've achieved. The second house did come through on the previous reading. And again, that is making me think that people are jealous of your values. If you are vocal about specific causes or your values of any kind, it makes me feel as though maybe this specific person is quite resentful of that. They are resentful of the fact that you can talk openly about the things that you value in terms of like who you are, things to do with your self-worth, things that you love about yourself as well, with the remember to practice self-love coming through, the things that you genuinely love and value about yourself. I think some people, maybe certain people who don't feel able to love themselves, they're jealous of the love that you show to yourself and your confidence. So that is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, pal 2. I hope you are enjoying the reading so far, and I'll see you in the tarot portion of your reading. Hi, pal 2 Collective. Welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pal 2. So we have got the Six of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Swords reversed. We've got the Seven of Swords reversed. We've got the Two of Swords reversed. Okay, a lot of swords and a lot of reversals so far. We've got the King of Wands reversed. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Three of Cups reversed. We have the Ten of Swords. And we have the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, pal 2. So I am getting that one of your most envied attributes, similarly to what we expressed in the oracle reading, I think it's, in a way, your charisma, your sense of self-confidence within yourself, but also how well liked you are within your community and how grateful people are to have you. I think a lot of people are envious in terms of the way that people want to give to you. Now, I'm not saying that this has to be in terms of literal, like, money, material items. It could well be. It could be that you have specific people who are jealous of the perceived favoritism. I don't know if that's the right word, but I am just getting favoritism. So this could be somebody in terms of a job who feels as though you are favored, but I don't think it is that you are favored. I think it's that you give a lot to whatever it is, regardless of whether it's a job or in terms of like relationships with your friends or just a goal that you work towards. It's like this person, this specific person who is jealous of you feels as though you just got lucky, but really it is like your hard work that has got you to the place that you are. But I even feel as though like this is the kind of person, this specific person who's jealous of you, it's like if somebody said something good about you, because I think you get complimented a lot behind your back. And I think when people are generous with you in terms of the things that they say about you, if they say something like, oh, pal 2 is doing XYZ, they are amazing, like they are doing this will be the kind of person who gets very jealous when they hear that you are doing well. And it's like, I don't know, they want to undermine it in some way. They want to make out like what you're doing isn't that great. But I think, you know, with this High Priestess in reverse, particularly, it's like essentially this person is lying to themselves. They're trying to convince themselves that what you're doing isn't that great, it's not that good, it's not worthy of praise, people shouldn't be talking about it. But at the same time, they could never do what you're doing, they couldn't achieve these things. I think they are lying to themselves when they say that, you know, these things that you're doing aren't good. I think it's because they could never do these things. Maybe they weren't given the opportunity. Like maybe they grew up in a time, if this is somebody who is older than you significantly, like they were from a different generation or just a different background or something like that, and they didn't have these opportunities at their age than what you do at your age or something like that. Doesn't have to be the case, but if it is something like that, you know, maybe they are quite rightfully feeling a little bit resentful towards their lack of opportunity, but instead of allowing the new opportunities they might have now to kind of guide them into something better, it's like they're just staying bitter about you doing better. They feel, I think, left behind. They feel like because they could never get ahead of you, it's like they're thinking, why bother? So then that puts them into this state of being bitter, of just not bothering to better themselves, of making out like you don't deserve some of this praise. So I don't know, it could be that like a group of friends are talking about you and they say something like, oh, did you see what Pile 2 is doing? Like, Pile 2 got to go on a trip to the moon. They went and explored the moon and they looked around and they've come back and they're telling us about this experience on the moon. And it's like this jealous person will come in and they'll just try to underplay the huge accomplishment, the huge thing that you've done. And they'll say something like, well, they're not the first person to go to the moon, so it's not that big of a deal. And it honestly just reeks of jealousy. I think maybe other people around them sort of roll their eyes and they're like, right, okay, like, we get it. You're jealous, you're a hater. Because honestly, like, they do just sound like a bit of a hater when they say these things. And I think other people realize that. And the thing is, like, I feel as though you are such a good hype man or woman that you honestly, like, if they came to you and they were open with you and they said, like, look, like, I feel like I've been left behind, I feel like, I didn't have some of these opportunities and I'd like to explore these things. If they were truly honest with you and with themselves and they came to you and they said that, you would be like, well, you know what? Like, you can come to the moon with me. Like, I'll get you a space helmet. I'll sort out the transport to the moon. Like, you can come with me. That's fine. We can do it together. Like, we can share this opportunity or something like that. But it's like this person won't do that because they have difficulty even admitting to themselves that what they are feeling is jealousy, and they have difficulty admitting why. I think they have just convinced themselves that, like, you're annoying, or people talk about you too much, people praise you too much, and you haven't done anything to deserve it. But really, I think it's because you have made a life for yourself that they are quite envious of. They are jealous of it, but they are just assuming that it is luck, or that, like, I don't know, you are favoritized in some way. But they could be favoritized too if they actually put the effort in, and they don't. They're unwilling to, and they're unwilling to see this situation for what it is. They are completely ignoring their intuition. They're really out of touch with their intuition, with the High Priestess in reverse. So this is the kind of person where anything good that you do in life, they will think of a reason of why it's not that great. They will underplay it, they will undermine it. They will make you feel crappy for something that you previously were really proud of. So if you, I don't know, produce a piece of artwork or something like that, which I suppose is more realistic than my other example. I am sorry about the outrageous examples that I'm giving in these readings today. But if you put like a piece of artwork out into the world, let's say, or something like that, you could get 100 people telling you that it is the best piece of art that they have ever seen in their life. Like, Picasso, who, you are just the most talented artist in the world. But this person will find a way to criticize that thing that everybody else is praising. It's like they always want to knock you down a peg or two, but they can't really comprehend where those feelings are coming from and why they have that need to be so negative. I just also want to mention that air sign energy or fire sign energy could be significant. I can't remember which signs I mentioned in the oracle reading, but we are getting such a lot of swords coming through here, and well, we have pentacles and cups as well, but we've got two wands cards and a lot of swords, so mainly air and fire energy. It doesn't have to be the case, but if this person is an air sign or a fire sign, maybe this is just a little bit more confirmation for you that you've chosen the right pile. I mean, hopefully you will know that it is the right pile by this stage, but it's just that extra little bit of confirmation if you don't. The High Priestess can often talk about hidden motives as well, and I think that's the thing. Like, this person's motives are hidden even from themselves. They don't really know why they are acting the way they are. This jealousy might be coming out in the form of anger. It could be that, like, every time you have a conversation with this person, there seems to be some kind of miscommunication, like things are hostile and you don't really know why. If this is somebody who has been in your life for a long time, maybe this has always been the case and it was always this underlying, like, elephant in the room feeling, but you could never quite pinpoint why this was happening. And I am saying it is to do with this person's jealousy towards you, and their sort of hatred of themselves. Like, I think a lot of this anger is directed inwards, but because I think they view you through the lens of, like, you being the better version of them, or the version of them that they could never fully live up to in many ways. Like, in particular, if this is a parental figure or somebody in your family or something like that, doesn't have to be, but if it is, that would make a lot of sense why they would see a lot of similarities between you and them. But, like, you are living what could have been their dream life, but they could never achieve those dreams or something like that. So this could have led to them being incredibly harsh and hostile with you. Like with this Ace of Swords in reverse, this could be the kind of person where like it always felt as though whenever you would get into a discussion, it would just end up in an argument, and it always seemed to be this person adding fuel to the fire. It could have felt at various points like you were stepping on eggshells around this person or something like that. Like you could never say anything without the conversation flipping wildly out of control for no apparent reason. Like you could come away from a discussion with them feeling completely confused because it could go from like perfectly nice to an argument that this person seemed to start within a heartbeat. And I think it is due to, you know, a lot of this person's hidden resentment and jealousy towards you. It could have felt like this person could just be quite harsh, quite overcritical, quite malicious for seemingly no reason. This could be the kind of person where, like, I don't know, you could literally say to them, like, how are you today? And they will flip out. Like, they will be like, why are you asking how I am? Like, literally, they will just start an argument over nothing. Or in terms of like that example, the you asking how they are or something, it could be that, you know, this will be the kind of person to continue an argument that on your end hadn't even started. And I know that sounds weird, but like it could be that one minute you and this person are fine. Like, I don't know, Thursday night, you are talking to this person and you go to bed, and then Friday morning, you approach this person, you say, hi, how are you? And then suddenly this person is not talking to you. And then when you try and question them about it, they're just like, why are you asking me how I am? Like, we are not on speaking terms. You know what you've done. Like, you know what you've done, even though you were fine the night before. It's like maybe they were harboring some kind of resentment towards you. And it's almost like they've created this fallout overnight in their head. When you'd been fine, like the prior night or something like that. It's like overnight they've thought about it and they've decided to then fall out with you. It's a very confusing thing. It always felt like you were stepping on eggshells or something like that. Like you couldn't, like one minute you were fine, the next you weren't fine. And it always just seemed to come from nowhere. It could be this person randomly brings up like an argument that you had a week ago or something like that. And even though they've been fine with you from last week until this point, it's at this point they decide to start kicking off about it. So it just confuses everything because it could be something like, you know, you had a bit of an argument and then you decided like it's fine, let's just forget about it. And then this person brings it up again a week later and suddenly they're not speaking to you. Suddenly they're really hostile with you. Suddenly they're really angry. I mean, some of this like might be influenced by drinking or something like that. If this person is the kind of person to get into their feelings when they've had a drink or something, it could be that, you know, this is when these hostile emotions come out. This is when this person starts to get malicious. Maybe they have a bit of a problem with drinking or something like that. It doesn't have to be the case. It's just making me think like that can be when emotions are heightened sometimes. So that could play a part. And this might apply particularly, you know, if this person is a parental figure of some kind or if they are someone in your family. With this King of Wands in reverse, I think maybe this person was always quite domineering with you. They always tried to control you. And it's like they didn't always trust you to make your own decisions, and maybe that led to you at certain points having a lot of self-doubt. Maybe it took you a long time to sort of establish your independence in many ways, because it's like this person always had an influence over what you could or couldn't do. It's like they didn't trust you enough to be able to make those choices independent of them. You always felt forced to rely on them to give you the okay to do something, and it just felt like they were forcing you into one particular box too much. And you know, the King of Wands in reverse can be associated with being like a weak leader. And this really is a sign of a weak leader, because if you are just dominating people, you are not really leading them. You are just being controlling, you are just being forceful. I honestly think like this person felt powerless, maybe because they saw the potential in you. And it's like they didn't fully want you to realize that. So they felt like they had to exert their power in whatever capacity that was and try and control you or something like that. The person that is jealous of you, this could be somebody who you have had to create distance with this Six of Swords. It could be somebody who you have had to establish boundaries with. Now, if this is somebody who you once lived with, a parental figure, a family member, a roommate, a friend, an ex-partner, something like that, it could be like, this is you moving on from them in terms of literally moving out. However, if it is just like a friend who you didn't live with or something like that, it could just be you, distancing yourself from them in some capacity, spending less time with them, making yourself more of a priority or making other people more of a priority, not solely being around this person 100% of the time or giving them all of your energy, even if in the past they have demanded this in some way. I think you have sort of escaped this person's clutches to some capacity. They are not able to have as much influence in your life as what they once did. And I think this person, to a degree, I think is having some regret over this. They might not be able to fully realize why they are feeling the things they are feeling, but I definitely think they are feeling your loss. If you have had to distance yourself, I think they are questioning why they feel so down about this. And I think it's like they almost get these moments of self-awareness, but with this high priestess in reverse, I don't think they're fully getting it. I don't think they fully realize the negative impact that they might have had on you in terms of their criticisms and their unrelenting malicious behavior, if that has been a prevalent theme in yours and this person's communication. The Seven of Swords can sometimes talk about truth being revealed. So maybe this person has had a little bit of a moment of self-awareness. Maybe one of their hidden motives has made itself known in some way, and maybe something feels as though it's been revealed to them, and this has changed their perspective a little bit, and they are in a little bit of regret, especially if you have had to create distance. Like I said, I think they are really feeling your loss. I think they are feeling that distance. And I actually think they're feeling quite lonely. I really do think they are feeling quite isolated with this Three of Cups in reverse. And, it could be that they are jealous of the way you have been able to quickly move on, because maybe, if you felt as though you were reliant on this person at one point, or if you were in a bit of a codependent relationship with them of some kind. With this Eight of Wands, I think they weren't expecting you to move on so quickly. Like if you have, literally moved out of the home that you shared with them or something like that, or just you've created distance and you are no longer relying on them as much as you once did. I think they weren't expecting that. And I think they are very jealous of the life you are now living, because it now looks as though you're getting out there, you're being your authentic self, you're getting on with your life. And I think they still feel stuck on you. And I think they are quite envious that they don't feel the way you do. It looks to them like you are quickly moving on and having a good time, and they are not. I think they are feeling very lonely, and it could be because a lot of people have realized, the kind of person they are. That they are quite a negative and malicious person at times. They can be quite bitter, and maybe less and less people have wanted to spend time with this person. So it's led to them feeling really lonely. If this person does have a problem with drinking and they have had arguments whilst drinking when they have been out with other friends, and that has made these other friends question who they are as a person, and it has made these other friends distance themselves or something like that. It could be that they have lost a lot of people. They keep losing people keep wanting to distance themselves, but it's like they don't have enough self-awareness to fully realize all of the reasons why people are doing this. I think with this Ten of Swords, like this person is maybe going through a period of feeling betrayed and feeling victimized. Maybe they're in a phase of being in like a victim mentality about these circumstances. They could almost like still be having these moments of blaming you and being like, oh, well, pal 2 is going out and doing all these great things and I'm on my own, feeling sorry for themselves, giving themselves a little pity party, but maybe not fully reflecting on all of the reasons why they have lost you or they have lost other people or why they are lonely. They are not really thinking that it has much to do with them, even though it could have a lot to do with them and their behavior. If you and this person are in no contact at the moment, like if you aren't speaking, it could be that they want to reach out but are feeling hesitant with this Two of Swords in reverse. They don't know how to go about it, because particularly like if you ended on a bad note, if there was a big blow up, like a big argument when you last spoke with this person, and you created that distance, I think they're still feeling quite prideful, maybe, like they don't want to fully apologize for the part that they had to play in that. But at the same time, it's like I feel like they want to claw their way back into your life. They want to gain access to you again, particularly, if this is somebody who is blocked, like they can't see what you're up to really on social media or something like that. If you're on social media, it's like they want that access to you again, and they are very, very tempted to reach out and try and gain that access, but they just don't know how to go about it because they have too much pride to apologize. But ultimately, they are the ones that are feeling your loss, like they are missing you. And they are very jealous that they can't be in your energy, but that other people are praising you, other people are grateful for you, other people are appreciating you. I think they really hate that other people are appreciating you and happy to be around you and maybe giving you the attention and the love and the support that you deserve, because maybe this person never did that. Maybe they were unwilling to do that. And now you're finally finding people who are more aligned with you, who are authentic like you. And, this person just really isn't liking that. They are quite jealous. That is what I'm getting for your tarot reading, pal 2. We are just going to finish the reading by looking at an oracle card from the Soul Truth Oracle deck. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the card we pulled for you. Okay, pal 2. So we got Who Can I Serve Today? I'll read it out to you. It says, in a world lacking soul-to-soul connection, small and simple acts are what create the biggest and most lasting impact. We shift our own pain and experience an avalanche of love when we lose ourselves in the service of others. Who needs you today? Today's soul action, listen to your heart. Who needs you? Make one soulful connection today and give solely to spread more love, expecting nothing in return. Notice the joy that you feel when you serve others. So I'm feeling as though, this person who is jealous of you, pal 2, it could be that it always felt like your relationship with them was transactional in some way, but it always felt as though you were getting like the short end of the stick. So this could have been somebody who, constantly expected you to be there for them, to pander to them, to give them advice, to do what they wanted. They always wanted to be in control. But when it came to you, asking for something minor, they always made out like it was some massive thing. They made out like you were asking for the world or something like that. And I think this card is really saying that, don't let this person's actions and the way they view relationships with other human beings as transactional. Don't let that get in the way of the amazing, giving, generous, sharing, caring person that you are. Don't let that stop you from being the most authentic version of yourself, because, the relationship with this person, whatever kind of relationship it was, whether it was parental, whether this was a friend, a family member, an ex-partner, anyone really, a colleague even, like whoever this was, it felt like you gave a lot to them and you got very little in return. And I think sometimes when we experience a relationship like that, it can put us off opening up to other people and wanting to give to them, wanting to give our all to relationships because we have been hurt by this one person. But I think this is telling you that, nothing is off limits to you in terms of the connections that you are now able to make, because you are showing up more in an energy of being in alignment with your authentic self. You are going to connect with people who are in alignment with their selves and their authentic selves, and you are going to meet and gravitate towards more people who are like you, who are going to have more of those reciprocal relationships. You can give to them and they are going to give back. People always say this about relationships, and I think it's true. Like, there's going to be some days where both of you can give 100%, and there's going to be some days where one of you gives 70% and the other gives 30% because one of you is feeling run down. One of you just doesn't have the energy to be able to give as much as you normally would. Like, that is normal. We all go through ebbs and flows of energy. We all have our off days. However, if it is a consistent thing that, somebody is giving the bare minimum to you, they are not wanting to give anything back, and this is an ongoing theme and you've tried to talk to them about it and nothing is changing, and they are more concerned about their own needs above yours all the time, like it is persistent, that is maybe a sign that that is just a pattern of that person's behavior. That is just who they are as a person. And sometimes you do have to take that leap of creating distance with people who, it never feels reciprocal. It's okay if you have an off day from time to time and you can't give everything to another person. But I think for the most part, like, relationships need to be give and take. Relationships shouldn't just be based all on the needs of one person. But equally, the fact you might have had this kind of relationship, this codependent relationship with this person, that shouldn't stop you being who you are and, still showing up in this sharing, caring way and being willing to offer love and support to other people. Like, don't let this experience make you feel as though you are closed off from meeting other people, because I think you can have the opportunity to meet people who are more on the same page as you, and not everybody is going to take advantage of your kindness the way that this person might have done. That is what I'm getting for you, pal, too. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did enjoy the reading, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean so, so much to me, and I would just really appreciate it. Thank you, pal, too, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Hi, Pal 3 Collective. If you chose Pal 3 and you chose the nap sticker, this will be your reading. This reading is titled, What are your most envied attributes? Who is lime green jelly of you and why? This reading is all about who is jealous of you, either secretly or not so secretly. It is also all about the traits that you have that people are most envious of. If you would like further information regarding what this reading entails, then please check out the introduction. Just a gentle reminder to please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so, so much. Without further hesitation, let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you, Pal 3. Okay, so we have the nap sticker, and we have number 18, Fear. We have Rebirth. And we have number 42, Homeward. Take yourself out on a date. So at the start of each of the oracle readings, I have mentioned the numbers on the cards. So I do just want to mention the number 18 and the number 42. If these are significant numbers to you in any way, this is just a little bit of further confirmation that you've chosen the right pile. These numbers could be significant to you in terms of age. It could be that either number 18 or number 42 is an age you are currently at or an age you are approaching. Or if it's not that, it could be that, let's say you met this person who is jealous of you when the two of you were 18, or the two of you were 42, or one of you was one of those ages, or something like that. Or this could just be in relation to angel numbers, synchronicities that you are seeing a lot of. It doesn't have to be the case, it's just a little bit of extra confirmation if that does resonate for you. We are going to roll the astro dice towards the end of the oracle portion of the reading, but I did just want to mention a couple of the signs that I'm getting so far just by looking at the imagery. So with Homeward, I am thinking of earth signs, earthly tendencies, the natural world, and that is making me think of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I feel like earth signs have come through on a few of these readings so far. However, I am also getting, with Fear, I'm getting fire sign energy in terms of like being fearless, and I think particularly like Leo is often all of the fire signs, to be fair, are associated with, being bold, being brave, using your voice powerfully. So it could be that Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo is significant to you in some way. Again, it doesn't have to be, it's just that little bit of extra confirmation if that is the case. I am getting a little bit of an overlap with Pal 2 in terms of your energy and this fearlessness we are speaking about. I think people are incredibly envious of your bravery in terms of you being who you are. I think people are jealous of your boldness. I think people are jealous of your audacity, your audaciousness. And I don't mean that in a way that you do or say anything rude and people say like, oh, the audacity. But I think people aren't used to, somebody being so comfortable being who they truly are. So it's like audaciousness, but in a very positive and inspiring way. People are jealous of your bravery, your ability to go out of your comfort zone, to be adventurous, to try new things. And maybe pile three, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you feel fearless, you feel like you can do anything. But I think what people admire about you the most is potentially your ability to feel that fear, but also to do things anyway. With this rebirth card, it could be actually that you have gone through some kind of a glow up recently. Maybe you are really trying to step into that energy of trying new things. It could be that you have gone through some kind of awakening, whether spiritual or otherwise, but just perhaps something that shook you to your core and made you want to or feel like you had to step out of your comfort zone, you had to do things differently. This could be in terms of you feeling like, you had to end a relationship or go down a different career path or go back to university or college to become more educated to gain a new skill set. It could be you going out and exploring a hobby that you previously were too shy to do or something like that. Or it could be you traveling solo or just traveling generally, exploring new places in the world and, not being afraid to really get stuck into that kind of thing and go out on your own adventure and really do that, really explore the world in that way. It could be that people are very jealous of your independence in doing that. And, particularly if this specific person who's jealous of you is like an ex partner, maybe. And I know that sounds weird, but it could be that if this ex partner, if like you have ended a relationship, that let's say, if you and this partner were in like a codependent relationship and at one stage both of you felt like, oh, I could never do XYZ on my own, it could be like this person is a little bit jealous and resentful of you because they feel as though you have changed so much and they have been unable to establish that same sense of independence that you are currently in possession of. So I'm really getting, the example of the two of you at one stage. If this was a relationship, maybe it felt as though you were stuck in a rut, like you did the same thing every night, you had the same routine. And maybe, if it was quite codependent, maybe it felt as though you relied on one another too much for validation and things like that. And it feels as though you have really given birth to a new you with this rebirth card. You have really established that sense of independence. Maybe you are not afraid to take more solo trips. You are not afraid to rely on yourself more. Maybe like you have just got into this really independent energy. I think as well, like with this homeward card, I'm getting something about you really looking inwards in order to seek validation and approval from yourself and no one else. And I think that is something that is very much envied about you. And in particular, if we are talking about like this ex partner who is envious of you in some way, it could be that, they feel like they can never achieve that. Maybe they are still clinging on to the time in their life that they shared with you. And maybe they are unable to go and make that life for themselves and do things independently. Maybe they still feel as though they have been like stuck in a rut, whereas you have gone out and you've experienced the world and you've experienced this glow up and maybe you've had this awakening of some kind. And that has really changed you. Like we've said, like you have given birth to a new you. And this could be in terms of aesthetically, maybe you're presenting yourself as somebody completely different to who you once were. Maybe you have changed your style, your hair color, your makeup, maybe you have gone on a fitness journey and you have transformed your body. And if so, maybe people are looking at the new you and they are feeling very envious of that. But if it is this ex partner, I think they are jealous of your fearlessness and the independent life that you've cultivated for yourself, and maybe the fact that you are not relying on them for validation because maybe they still feel as though they need to rely on you or other people. But it's like you are now very much looking inwards. You are listening to your own voice, your own inner voice, your own wisdom in order to guide you. Now, if it's not an ex partner or something like that, it could be that this is a friend of yours or just somebody in your life, and they feel as though they are stuck in some kind of relationship that isn't serving them, or maybe they feel as though they are relying on another person too much, and they see you being fearless, being brave, going on these solo trips, taking yourself on a date and really looking after yourself. And maybe this makes them incredibly jealous because they don't feel like they could ever do that. Overall, I'm just really getting the sense with this pile that you have been through something big recently. I know that sounds very vague, but it's like you have been through something and it has changed you, but it has changed you for the better because with this rebirth card, I'm getting something about blossoming, like the imagery on this card. It's just making me think of like a flower opening up into full bloom. And I feel like that is you, like you are stepping into more of this fully authentic version of yourself. And I think some people didn't expect it, and it's something that makes certain people very jealous. Perhaps in particular this ex-partner or this friend or ex-friend that you once had in your life. I think, if this was a sort of toxic codependent relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic, it could just be like a codependent friendship, like you relied too much on one another and, you sought approval from one another. It could be that this person is very jealous of you, that you are now stepping out of that zone, like you no longer rely on that friendship or relationship for validation. But equally, it could be that, this person is just, like, let's say, viewing you doing all these things on social media or something like that. And even if they don't know you that well, potentially they are jealous of the fact that they feel stuck in their own relationship that has nothing to do with you. But it's like they're jealous that you have this sense of independence and you are flourishing and blossoming and, really becoming the best version of you. Perhaps this person feels as though they will never be able to do that. They will never be able to give birth to this new version of them. And they feel as though you are putting so many beautiful creative ideas into the world. With the fear card coming through, I'm just getting this image of somebody who is really not afraid to speak their mind, to do things that might shock people, not for the sake of shocking, but just because that is them showing more of who they are authentically. And maybe people are very envious of your ability to do that. I keep getting drawn to this homeward card, and as well as, you having that ability, that capacity to look inwards in order to rely on yourself for support. I'm really getting that people might be envious of your ability to take care of yourself and other people. So if this is in terms of yourself, it could be that you have really cultivated a lifestyle or a routine for yourself that really allows for that time to practice self-care. And I think this really shows outwardly. And some people in your life could be very jealous of the fact that, you do put yourself first sometimes. And you are able to listen to your body. You are able to give yourself what you need. And I think that's it. I think people are envious of the fact that you can really give to yourself. Maybe certain people who are jealous of you, there is a lot of shame surrounding them and their own ability to give or provide to themselves. So maybe they are envious of your ability to nurture you and maybe nurture your inner child as well, because maybe you are somebody who has done a lot of healing work, a lot of inner child work. You could be somebody who, has been to therapy or been to counseling and really worked through a lot of your issues. So it might not be like giving to yourself necessarily in terms of time, if you are short on time, for example, but it could just be giving to yourself in terms of really looking after your mental needs. Maybe this person, they didn't feel as though they were able to do that. It could also be that people are jealous of your ability to look after others, like maybe your ability to parent. It could be that you come across as a very stable, grounded, nurturing, loving parent if you are a parent, or even if you're a parent to a pet or something like that. You just come across as somebody who is able to look after the people in your life with a lot of care, a lot of affection. And I think people might be envious of the fact that something about you feels very welcoming. You feel, I don't know if homely is the right word, but it's like when people encounter you, it feels like they are home. It feels like you are somebody who can give them a safe space to vent their frustrations, to talk about their problems. It feels like you are a non-judgmental voice of wisdom. It feels as though you are somebody who can validate that person's emotions and really give them some amazing advice. And that is something very beautiful and gentle about you. And I think that is something that a lot of people are envious of, because maybe you are the kind of person where, like, sometimes people talk about their problems and you can end up in a situation where you just don't know what to say, like you don't know what to advise for the best, like maybe, it doesn't come natural to certain people. Well, I think people are jealous of the fact that that kind of thing comes very natural to you. You can give somebody advice from the heart, which is both meaningful, but it offers also like a logical perspective, something for them to work with that they can practice in reality that will make their situation better. And I think a lot of people hear you giving advice like that and they're like, wow, Pal 3 is so amazing at, making people feel better, comforting them, giving them practical advice that also has a lot of depth behind it. I think people think to themselves like, wow, I would have never thought to advise this person of that, but Pal 3 just came through right away, right off the bat. They gave this brilliant advice. I think that is something that people envy. Like, you always know the right thing to say to cheer people up, to make them feel better, to make them feel seen and heard as well. Like, I definitely think you are just this comforting source of light and warmth, and I think people really admire you for that, but also I think it is a source of envy for some people. Maybe this could be in terms of your job role or something like that. If you don't have children but you work in a role where, you know, that level of empathy and understanding of other people, or of working with the public, or of being charismatic in some way is required, if you have that sense about you, it could be that like colleagues are jealous or something like that. I think you are somebody who people are envious of because you come across as very secure in yourself. That is definitely the word I'm getting. Like, you are your own security blanket, and also you are capable of being a security blanket for other people. And I don't mean that in the way as in like they should be relying on you, but it's like people are envious of you because you are not only self-reliant, but you give other people a safe space to, you know, be themselves too, and you are secure in who you are. And I think people are envious of your, you know, the way that you don't put anybody down. You don't need to invalidate anybody else's feelings or experiences, because you only rely on yourself for validation, and, you know, you don't need to make anyone else feel insecure because you are so confident in who you are, in what you bring to the table, in what you have to offer. And I think people that know this about you, it's like they sense this security radiating from you, even if you are sat there and you are thinking like, well, you know, I get insecure about things too. Like, yes, I think we all do, but there is just something about you that feels so rooted. Like, it's like you are so rooted to who you are. Like, who you are feels so innate within you. I don't know if I'm explaining this in the right way, but it's like you are maybe very connected to source. So this could be in terms of spirituality, but I think you are very aware that you have some kind of greater purpose, and maybe you are coming into alignment in terms of what that is. But I think you have always had this innate sense of like who you are at a deeper level, and maybe more of that is starting to shine through with this rebirth card. And, you know, perhaps that is making certain people envious, it's making certain people jealous. But at the same time, like, I think you are not worried about them, because you have always felt connected to this deeper inner knowing, this wisdom regarding who you are, at like a soul level. And I think people are envious of the fact that, you know, if anybody ever tries to bring you down to make you feel insecure, essentially you're just not going to listen, because you have this deeper wisdom. It's like you are not going to allow anybody to tell you who you are, because you know, you can sense it. You've always been able to feel it. There is a lot of power in you knowing that. And I think people can sense that about you. So it's like people are envious of the fact that they couldn't say anything to you to make you feel like you have lost that sense of yourself and who you truly are. It's like you can't be shattered. Maybe there were times in your life where you did feel like shattered by other people's opinions, and you have grown from that experience. You've taken something from it and you have transformed it into something else. But I think you can't be broken down. You can no longer be told what to do. You can't be told who you are, because you are in this very fearless energy, and you are only looking inwards for your own approval. You aren't relying on anybody else to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. You are very much being guided by your own internal compass, and I think people can sense this about you, and it is a source of envy. I will talk about the sticker that you chose as well, just briefly. Maybe some of this self-care in terms of things that people are envious about. Maybe it is that you dedicate time to relax, or people perceive you as having more time than them. So, and if you're sat there like, oh, well, I work all the time and I have kids and I do this and I do this, it's not saying that you have loads of time, but I think you have really worked on knowing when you need to prioritize your own rest. So you really make the most of your time. You are more time efficient, because maybe you have had to be, because maybe in the past you have been so busy and you have experienced burnout, and you have like kind of got to the end of your tether with feeling exhausted, that you've really had to prioritize rest, because you have realized that if you don't prioritize rest, then your body will just choose that rest for you and you will just crash and burn out. So it's like maybe this is something you have learned over time, and you have adopted coping mechanisms in order to make more time to dedicate to you relaxing or things like that. that. But maybe certain people in your life don't feel up to your level in that sense. So it could be that they perceive you as having more time than they do. Now, this could apply if like you have a friend who has young children and you don't have children yet or something like that. Or if you have a friend who has just had a baby and your children are older or at school, so you have like a little bit more time in that sense. I know you still probably don't get very much time, but there's something about like you being in a different stage of your life compared to this person who is jealous of you, and then being jealous of your ability to dedicate some of this time to yourself. And something about them being jealous of your lifestyle. So it could be that, you know, you have made a really nice life for yourself in terms of the material items that you have, in terms of the way your home looks, something like that, or just in terms of your stability in regards to your relationship. So this could be somebody is jealous of you because you have a more stable romantic relationship or marriage than them, or at least they perceive it that way, or you have a more stable source of income or a job or something like that. Somebody is jealous of the way you have changed with the rebirth card, your fearlessness, your bravery, and the way that you aren't afraid to also dedicate time to yourself when it is needed. And people are also jealous of your warm and comforting nature. That is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, pile 3. We are just going to roll the astro dice for a little bit of further clarification. So I'm going to do that and we'll see what we got. Okay, this is so strange because so far, pile 3, in every single reading, in piles 1 and 2, in every single reading so far, we have got the second house, and the second house has come through again. That house does not want to leave us alone. So we've got the second house coming through. We have Virgo coming through, which again, this came through in one of the previous piles. I can't remember which one it was, but that did come through in one of the previous piles. And we also have Mercury over here. So we will talk about the second house because clearly I am very used to talking about it. However, I do feel like it is a slightly different overall vibe, overall theme for your reading. So in terms of the second house for you, it feels as though people are incredibly envious of the life that you have managed to cultivate for yourself, the life you have managed to build for yourself. And again, you know, second house, as I keep saying, it refers to like this Taurus energy. So we did mention earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming through, and this is still the energy I am picking up on. And with the second house, it just makes me think of, you know, people being jealous of the way that you have built your life. Now, you don't necessarily have to feel as though you are like materially successful or stable, but just in whatever capacity you have cultivated a life for yourself and stability for yourself, whether it's in terms of where in the world you live, like even if you don't have the biggest house in the world, it could be that people are still jealous of your home, where you've chosen to live, or the way that your house is, the way that you have managed to build nice things for yourself. It could also be in relation to your career. And again, it doesn't mean like you have to earn the most money in the world or anything like that. But it could be that people are envious of the skill set that you have developed, you have built. People are envious of the way you have worked hard to achieve a goal, or it could be that people are envious of the kinds of relationships that you have built, these being solid, stable, and grounded. If you have like a friend in your life who doesn't tend to gravitate towards the more solid, grounded relationships, it could be that this person is jealous of you for that reason, or it could be in terms of the way you have built yourself up with this rebirth card, the way that you have developed as a person, the way that you have overcome some of your fears, maybe become more independent. If at one stage in your life, let's say you were the kind of person who you said to yourself like, oh, I could never go out by myself and have a meal, or, you know, take myself out on a date or something like that. It could be that people are very envious of you in overcoming this fear and going out and just doing the thing and living your life. Maybe people are jealous about the way you are secure within yourself, the way you have developed that self-confidence, the way you are relying on yourself more and more, and you are unwilling to be relying on other people at this stage in your life. Maybe people are jealous about the self-trust that you have built with you. The second house being associated with Taurus is making me think of Venusian energy as well. So it could be that there is something very Venusian about you, something very sensuous, something very romantic. Maybe this is in terms of like your body type or something like that. And if it's not your body type, it just could be something, you know, very beautiful and gentle within your nature, something that feels divinely feminine. I think we said that as well, like in Pile 1. So some of the messages in Pile 1 could resonate for you. I am getting a little bit of overlap, but it's like, yeah, there is something very sensuous about your nature. And it could be Venusian in the sense that, you know, you can make everything around you beautiful. Perhaps you can make yourself look beautiful and people are envious of that. Perhaps you have a beautiful home or a beautiful way of adorning your body in terms of style, in terms of the way you choose to dress, how you style yourself, or maybe this is in terms of your career. Maybe part of your career is making people or places or things look amazing. This could be like in terms of, you know, being a makeup artist or a hairstylist, something to do with cosmetics, or it could be something with interior design, interior decorating, or even in terms of like social media, marketing, making things look amazing, designing of some kind, designing websites, maybe being artistic or creative. It could be that people are very envious of your abilities in that sense. Overall, it's just like people are envious of this ability that you have to beautify the world around you. And as well, with Mercury coming through, you know, Mercury can be associated with intelligence. But in terms of what we said in the earlier portion of the reading, I think this is bringing me back to what we said about your way of articulating things to other people, like your communication style. And, you know, Venus is making me think that maybe there is something that people are jealous of in terms of the way you communicate or your voice or your style of delivering a message. Maybe people just think that you talk very nicely, that you have a beautiful speaking voice or a beautiful singing voice or something like that. People are envious of that, but equally it could just be the things that you say to people. You know, when we were saying that like you have this ability to make people feel safe, to offer them that source of comfort, it could be that people are jealous of your ability to communicate in that way, to talk to people in a way that makes them feel understood. Maybe your ability to give advice or something like that. And with Virgo showing up, you know, Virgo makes me think of the sixth house. So, in terms of what we said about people being jealous of the time that you dedicate to yourself and to your routine, again, I do think people are jealous in some way of your routine. So, this could be like in terms of if you have a dedicated skincare routine, this could be implying that, you know, that skincare routine has really paid off. People can see that you are glowing, that you have glowed up, that you have changed in some way, and people are jealous of how amazing your skin looks. Or, you know, equally, if it's like a hair care routine or a fitness routine, a regime of some kind that is helping you step into the most glowed up version of yourself, it's like people are noticing this and they are jealous of your ability to dedicate that time to yourself, but also the effects that it is having on your physical self and maybe your internal self. You know, if, like we said, you have been going to therapy and you have been really working on yourself spiritually or personally, this could refer to that. It could be that, you know, that is really showing itself externally. People can sense this inner work that you've done, that you've worked hard to get where you are. And they are jealous of all this growth that you have managed to carry out and achieve. That is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, Pile 3. I really, really hope you are enjoying the reading so far. We are about to move along to the tarot portion of the reading, so I hope you're enjoying this so far, and I'll see you in the tarot, Pile 3. Hi, Pile 3 Collective. Welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pile 3, we have got the Six of Cups. We've got the Two of Wands. We've got the Five of Wands. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Sun. We've got the Four of Swords. And we have Judgment. Okay, pal three. So I'm getting that one of your most envied attributes is the fact that people perceive you yourself as being high quality. I think people perceive you as somebody with high standards. Maybe this hasn't always felt as though it's been the case. Maybe at certain points in your life, you have had to establish firmer boundaries with people, and maybe you have set this high standard. You will only tolerate people in your life, whether that's colleagues, friends, partners, romantic interests, family members. You will only tolerate people in your life that are up to the same level as you, that meet your standards. And I don't mean this in the way of like you set ridiculous standards of like, oh, you have to earn XYZ in order to talk to me or something like that. It's not based on arbitrary things, it's based around somebody's values. And I think you're not willing to deal with people without integrity, without morals, without values that align with your values. So it's like you're no longer tolerating BS. And I think a lot of this growth that maybe you've had is to do with you developing this sense of fearlessness. Because the Page of Wands can talk about fearlessness and being more extroverted. So, this could be you at some point in your life having come out of your shell. You have become more confident. You have learned how to assert yourself better, to stick up for yourself and your values, and to set the standard. But I think this standard that you have set, which you yourself abide by, it's not like you're setting these standards for other people and you're not meeting them. You could be meeting them and exceeding them. Like you are setting a very high standard. But I think certain people are actually quite jealous of this, potentially that they can't meet the standard. So this could be in terms of like ex-partners, ex-romantic interests, or people who you've had to let go of. It's like they're jealous that they can't live up to these high standards that you are setting. It could also be like a romantic interest of one of your ex-partners or something like that. If you have a current partner, this could be their ex-partner who is trying to cause problems or something like that. Because with this Five of Wands, I'm getting that a lot of people see themselves as being in competition with you, and being compared to you is quite difficult for them because they know you are somebody who has quality about them. They know you are somebody who has high standards with this Eight of Pentacles, and I think it can be difficult to be compared to you, and there's a little bit of rivalry, it seems. And I don't even think like you're not necessarily comparing yourself to this person who might be jealous of you. I don't think you're doing that. You don't feel in competition with them. Maybe you are more focused on your own life and establishing your own path and focusing on your goals, because I think everything you do, like everything you turn your hand to, you can make something quality out of any situation. With this Eight of Pentacles, it's like you're not going to do something half-heartedly. You're not going to put like the bare minimum effort into something. And I think this is a trait that people envy as well, because with this Page of Pentacles in reverse, I think certain people are envious of the opportunities that you have given to yourself through your hard work, through your dedication, through mastering a skill, and through, taking a project to the highest place it will go, and making sure that anything you turn your hand to, anything that you create is of high quality, making sure that you put all your skills towards something. It's like some people feel as though this could be in terms of actual people feel as though they've missed an opportunity with you, and now they're kind of jealous because they're saying like, oh, I would never get the chance with Pal 3 or something like that. Like, I have missed the boat because Pal 3 is doing bigger and better things than I am. I would never get that chance with them. And for some people, it could just be them comparing their skills to yours and how they were too lazy and immature to be able to really put the commitment into the projects and the goals that they wanted to set for themselves. So it's like they're jealous of you because you were able to achieve all of this, and they just feel as though, they have missed their own opportunities. Like they don't have very good prospects anymore because they weren't willing to put the kind of effort into their goals and desires that you were with yours. So it's like they just don't feel as though they live up to your standards. And again, I think, if this is the current partner of an ex-partner, or if this is the ex-partner of your current partner or something like that. I think this person is continually stalking your social media, looking at pictures of you. I think they're trying to find, like, I'm getting the phrase like a chip in your armor. So this could be the kind of person who, like, if you post pictures of yourself online or anything like that, this could be the kind of person who is like zooming in on your pictures really closely to spot any kind of sign of a flaw. And if they see something, like if you have the tiniest spot next to your nose, let's say, or something like that, this person is like, aha, like I found pal three's weakness. But really, like, meanwhile, you remain unbothered. You're not even thinking about this person at all. They might not cross your mind unless, literally they try to communicate with you in some way, which I don't know if they do. Some of it could be like silent stalking and silent comparison. But obviously, if this is not like an ex-partner of your partner, or if this is not a current partner of your ex-partner or something like that, and it is somebody who's like more prevalent in your life, such as like a colleague or somebody in your friendship circle, it could be that, they kind of have this attitude with you, and you might know about it through the kinds of questions that they ask you, because it could be the case that if you are doing anything good, if you are participating in something that is making you proud of yourself, it could be that the kinds of questions they ask you are all sort of asked in a very negative way, or in a way that tries to slip you up, to catch you off guard. And it's like they seem happy if you tell them about something bad that's going on in your life. That could be how you would know who this person is. Because I think this person sees you as being so far above them, like the jealousy is so strong that any time like something happens in your life that could be deemed as more negative. So this could be like, I don't know, if this is a friend, let's say, and you have had a job interview, you could, let's say you don't get the job and you come to this person and you say like, oh, like I didn't get the job, but to be honest, like I didn't expect you. There were a lot of candidates, and it's still a learning experience. I'm going to keep applying. Maybe like you're not that down about it, you just bring it up and you're like, right, on to the next thing. And maybe this person is like, they're secretly smirking about it or something, or when you're talking to them, they want to know more about the negatives than they do the positives. It's like they want to kind of marinate in your sadness, and you might not even be that sad. You're like, well, it's fine. Like, I'll get another job. That's okay. Like, I missed this one, but, I'll get the next one or whatever. And this person's almost like trying to drag you down and get you to feel more negative about this situation than what you actually do. And they want to know all the gossip when it comes to the bad things that are going on in your life. Like when you are telling them something that's good that's happened, they are so not interested. But if you're telling them something bad, they are really invested. They want to know more about it. It could even be that this person asks other people questions about you and what's going on in your life, and they're sort of secretly hoping that it will be something bad, that there will be this chip in your armor. And in terms of like the hard work and the graft that you put into your life, yourself, and your projects, I think that is something that is very much an envied attribute, because this person who is incredibly jealous of you, like we said with this Page of Pentacles in reverse, they are immature and they are lazy. They aren't willing to put the same work in that you are, and they see you as somebody who is able to make things last, and like you are able to commit to something. Now, this could even be in terms of a romantic partnership with somebody else. If you are in a healthy, happy relationship, it could be that somebody is jealous of that. They are like jealous of your home life. They are jealous of the fact that like you have managed to make your relationship last and they haven't been able to do that or something like that. Or it could just be in terms of your lifestyle, things you want to achieve. It could be, let's say you are on a health journey and you decide that you want to commit to a particular lifestyle in terms of that, and you might decide to go plant-based or to go gluten-free or something like that. This is just one example, like it doesn't have to be the case, but whatever you set your mind to, you are willing to accomplish, and this person gives up on it very easily. This person gives up on their dreams and their goals very easily, whereas you don't. You make things last. You are able to commit to them, and that is something that people are really jealous over. Particularly this person carries a lot of envy towards you for that. With this Six of Cups, I'm actually getting that one of your most envied attributes could be your ability to make people feel at home when they're with you. That is what I am getting. I think you can be a very comforting person, and you could be the type, say within your job role or just in terms of you meeting people, you could be the type of person where people, open up to you very quickly. They feel like they are able to be vulnerable with you. They might tell you information that they normally don't tell other people who they have only just recently met or something like that. It could be that people are comfortable sharing secrets with you quite quickly or something like that, and just not being afraid to be open with you because something about you feels very familiar and comforting. I think you give people a safe space in order to do that. However, it could be that certain people are envious of this because maybe they don't have that ability. They don't know how to elicit this kind of reaction from people. Maybe people just become quite close to you quite quickly because, again, something about you feels very comforting. It just feels like having a nice warm hug, having a warm embrace. It feels like being cuddled in many ways. Like you could just be so great at making people feel comfortable. And I think a lot of people, because they don't have that capacity, they don't have that ability, they are quite envious of it because maybe they feel as though like people warm up to you more than they warm up to them or something like that. Like people just open up to you a lot more, and maybe they feel as though like it would be an advantage for them if they were able to elicit this kind of information from people. So they are thinking of it more along selfish terms. But I think the reason people gravitate towards you in this way is because they can sense that you're not selfish. Like you're not trying to elicit information about them to almost like wallow in their misery like this specific person does. You are just there because you genuinely want to comfort and help them and support them. And I think people can really sense that with you. But there are certain people who are quite envious of this ability that you have. And I think saying that about you sort of providing this safety for people, you providing this sanctuary, that kind of links very well with the Four of Swords as well, because in whatever capacity you show up in the world, you just make the environment a relaxing and peaceful place to be. You bring harmony to people. You are, I believe, a very balanced person. You are somebody who people just feel safe to be in the presence of. Not only are they able to open up, but they just feel supported. Your home could be a really nice and welcoming and homely place that people really enjoy visiting. They enjoy coming to see you. You could be an incredibly good host. Maybe you are a very good cook and people are jealous of that. Maybe you provide amazing, nourishing, beautifully presented meals or something, or just in whatever space like you invite guests into your home, you make it an incredibly pleasant place to be. It's somewhere that people always want to gravitate towards, so people could be jealous of literally like the space you inhabit or something like that because you always make it so pleasant, and maybe they are not capable of doing this. However, it could also be that people are jealous of how you spend your leisure time. Like maybe you have certain people in your life who are comparing their life to your life, and they feel as though they miss certain opportunities. They don't have the same choices as you, or they made the incorrect choices, and now they are not able to spend their leisure time how they want to. They are not able to get into this more relaxed, harmonious energy. And it's like they really only have themselves to hold accountable for that, because ultimately we all make our own choices. Obviously, some of us might have greater barriers than others. However, it's like this person chose to go down one route and you maybe chose to go down a different route, but now they feel envious of you that, they didn't follow the path that you did or something like that. And this is actually something that they had the opportunity to do. I think that is the thing. They didn't have a barrier in place to stop them doing whatever it is that you're doing, but they chose differently, thinking it would be better for them, and now they are jealous that you're in a position that is more truly in alignment with who you are, and they are just doubting themselves now. Maybe at the time this person tried to tell you that the route you were going down was like a bad idea and you shouldn't do it. Maybe they wanted you to join them going down their route, whatever that may be. I know it's going to be different for every single person, but it's like, I feel like you chose what was right for you and it is starting to pay off, and this person might be quite envious of that. I also feel as though because you have developed firmer boundaries over time, there is this real sense with you that you have your inner sanctuary to go back to, and this is a place where you are able to be truly honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable, but it's also a place where you know you can be safe to validate yourself, your own decisions. You are not requiring validation from anyone else. You have really developed in confidence, like your confidence has grown significantly with this sun showing up. You are in a more extroverted energy, even if you identify as an introvert. I think you are more secure in yourself than ever before, and I think that is something that this person in particular is envying. Your confidence, the fact that you do stick up for yourself, you do assert your boundaries, you have given yourself a safe space, you've given yourself sanctuary where you can be truly and authentically yourself. And I think, a lot of people could be jealous of this, particularly this specific person who we are talking about. I think you are just reaching this stage where you are feeling more and more genuinely happy. You are getting towards this good place, even if you don't feel as though you are in the best place possible yet. It's like every time you develop in terms of getting to another stage of healing, because with this judgment card as well, I feel as though a lot of you may have recently awakened to your purpose in some way. So it's like every time you take those steps and you become more in alignment with who you truly are, the more of the real you shines through and you feel more secure in terms of interacting with the world, in terms of going after what you want, in terms of socializing and expressing yourself confidently. You are no longer dealing with as many insecurities. And I think there are certain people in your life who do feel particularly jealous over this, because maybe they are still in this energy of like comparing themselves to you or comparing themselves to other people. They don't feel as secure, they don't feel as safe within themselves. Maybe they haven't been able to give themselves this inner sanctuary that you have been able to give yourself. So it constantly has them in an energy of feeling lesser than. They feel like you are this bright, shiny sun, that you are successful in something, whether that's a goal or just maintaining friendships and relationships, or a creative project that you're doing, or a job, or your home, like material success, regardless of what it is, because I know it's going to be different for every person. It's like somebody in your life sees you as a success and they see themselves as like never being able to get to the stage that you're at. Even if you don't see yourself as a success, it's like a lot of people see you that way, they perceive you that way. And I think, this person in particular, they just feel as though they missed the chance to do something and now they cannot compete with you, they cannot get to your level. And I think it makes them quite jealous, considerably jealous. I also feel as though these newfound boundaries that you have been developing, not only has it awakened you to your purpose, it allows you to process whether what you're doing is in alignment with what will make your inner child happy. I think you are doing more things by protecting yourself with this Four of Swords. You are making your inner child very happy with this sun. Whatever you are doing feels more in alignment with the true you, and I think a lot of people are envious in that regard. I think another attribute that people really envy about you is your fearlessness, your ability to step outside of your comfort zone, maybe to feel like you're taking a risk. But I think something that you've done that feels risky or did feel risky in the past, it feels as though now it's starting to pay off, or if it hasn't paid off yet, I feel that it's going to pay off. So a risk you have taken, you leaving your comfort zone, this will result in you feeling rewarded. However, it's like this person who could have doubted that, who could have doubted whether this was a good idea or not, they are now regretting maybe the fact that they didn't jump on board or support you in this idea at the time that you brought it up or something like that. Maybe they are now thinking wow, I should have really got on that thing that pile 3 was wanting to invest in or something like that. It doesn't have to be a literal financial investment or anything like that. It could just be a creative project, an endeavor that you are wholly committed to. And, this person is jealous that they didn't take you up on maybe your offer for them to join you or something like that. It's like they feel like they missed the boat, they missed the opportunity. This could even be you have invested in yourself, your personal development, your health, your well-being. And maybe this is an ex-partner, who maybe at the time, you wanted this person to commit to you, you made them an offer for further commitment that maybe they denied or something like that. And now they are deeply regretting it. And now they feel very jealous in the respect that they no longer have the access to you that they did, and that they will never get that access back. because now you are so above and beyond them, or like that is how they are perceiving it anyway. So that is what I'm getting for your tarot reading, pile 3. We are just going to finish up with some advice from the Soul Truth Oracle. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the card we pulled for you. Okay, pile 3. So the card we pulled for you is How Can I Deepen My Trust Right Now? And I will read it out for you. The card says, trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust yourself, trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. Let go and trust. Today, find your center in the chaos and be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. So I think the main message that I'm getting with this card coming through, pile 3, is this risk that you have had to take, this ability that you've had in terms of stepping out of your comfort zone, this has required you deepening your self-trust. It's required you to rely on yourself in a way that maybe in the past you haven't been able to. You have really had to release the need to control a lot of things in order to go with the flow and in order to pursue some of the things that you have been pursuing. And again, that's going to be different for each individual person. But in terms of personal development, this thing is really paying off, or this thing is about to pay off, and it is only going to deepen that trust that you have within yourself. I also think that you are very skilled in making other people feel so safe and so loved. And therefore, this is telling you, like, continue what you're doing in terms of instilling that safety, that feeling of comfort in other people, because that makes them feel unstoppable. And when we make others feel unstoppable, they can return the favor, they can make us feel unstoppable, and we can all work as a team, empowering each other, making each other feel good, uplifting each other, giving each other compliments, just supporting each other as much as we can. Maybe in the past, due to this person who was jealous, who always wanted to put a negative spin on things or something like that, maybe it doesn't feel as though you have always had the most trustworthy people in your life. Maybe it hasn't felt in the past like you have had people to rely on. So not only have you really had to develop that sense of self-trust and being reliant on yourself, it's like you've had to learn to trust other people again. But I think this is saying that, other people can be trusted. You just have to meet the right kinds of people. And I feel like we did get a similar message in one of the other piles. So if any of the other piles were calling to you, then, I can't remember which pile it was now because I have done a few. But if another pile was calling to you, then maybe go and check another pile out to see if there are messages for you in there, because something could resonate. But if not, I just think this is saying to you that you are on the right path by surrendering, by taking these risks, by going in the direction that you are called to go in. Ultimately, you are putting a lot of trust and faith in yourself, and ultimately, I think it is starting to pay off. That is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, pile 3. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did enjoy the reading, please like the video, please comment, and please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would appreciate it so, so much. Thank you, pile 3, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, pile 4 Collective. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the eye roll sticker and you chose pile 4, this will be your reading. This reading is titled, What Are Your Most Envied Attributes? Who is lime green jelly of you and why? So this is all about who is jealous of you. This could be secretly or not so secretly. If you would like further details regarding what this reading entails, then please check out the introduction. We are about to get started. I just want to thank everyone so, so much. If you have liked the video, if you have commented, and if you have subscribed, that all means so, so much to me. And I just want to remind you to please do those things if you haven't already. I would just appreciate it so, so much, and it would mean the absolute world to me. Anyway, without further hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, pile 4, so we have the eye roll sticker, and we have the card 46, Soar. We have Higher Power, and we have card number 8, Wings. You never needed those wings to fly. Okay, powerful. So, as I have done for all the piles, I do just want to mention the numbers on the piles in case these numbers are significant to you. And if that is the case, it's just a little bit of extra confirmation that you've chosen the right pile. So, we have number 46 and number 8. These could be significant numbers for you in some way. This could be an age that you met the person that is jealous of you. This could also be an age that was significant to you in some way. This could be an age you are now or an age you are approaching, or it could just be a number that you are seeing a lot of in terms of synchronicities, in terms of angel numbers and things like that. Again, it doesn't have to be the case. But if that is the case, it's just a little bit of extra confirmation, extra clarity for you. Now, actually, this wings card, You Never Needed Those Wings to Fly, came out in one of my recent previous readings. I can't remember whether it was the last reading or the one before that, but it definitely came out recently. I remember talking about this. So it could be that it's confirmation for you if you picked that pile in the last reading and now you have picked the pile with this card in again, because I am picking up on a kind of similar energy here. But if that was the case, this is definitely a very beautiful energy, because I remember in that reading we were talking about you stepping into your power, maybe in this upcoming year, learning to be independent, learning to fly on your own, learning to support yourself and things like that. So this could be, a little bit of extra confirmation for you if that is a journey that you are currently on. And if this card came up for you in that reading, I will roll the astro dice towards the end of the oracle portion of this reading. However, the signs that I am picking up on, I think because we have such a lot about flying, I'm picking up on a lot of air energy. But for some reason, I am also picking up on Capricorn energy. And I think it's because, when we talk about Capricorn, we talk about, getting to the top of the mountain and overcoming struggle, of sort of getting above restrictions in some way. And it feels like that is very much an energy that you are stepping into and something people are very much envious of. So you could have Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, or Capricorn in your chart. That is just what's coming through at the moment. Of course, we might get more signs and more clarification when we actually roll the astro dice, but that is just what's coming through for now when I look at the imagery on the cards. Now, pile 4, you could have been on a journey as of recently, and particularly I'm drawn to talk about the year 2024 specifically, because with this number 8 card, I'm getting the phrase like something about 2024 becoming your year. Now, if that hasn't been the case thus far, maybe this is confirmation that the way you are changing and transforming yourself this year is becoming your year. Like, the further we get into the year, the higher you soar, or something like that, or the easier it is becoming for you to overcome things. And I think maybe a lot of people in your life, Powerful, are jealous of you because they have always seen your potential. I think you are an incredibly powerful person, Powerful. With this You Never Needed Those Wings to Fly card, I think people have seen your potential in whatever capacity that may be. But I think people are jealous of you because you are finally starting to see your own potential, and therefore you are choosing to no longer align with things that are keeping you held down. Like I say, we have such a lot about you. Like, we have 2 cards about flying, and then the middle card says higher power. So it's like you are on this beautiful journey of escaping whatever dark place you were in the past, and you are moving on to like bigger and better things. With this Soar card, it's making me think, because you are so high, like you're with the clouds, you're above. It's people being jealous of you because you are leveling up in a way that is going above and beyond what they expected. You are exceeding their expectations, and people are envious of you because maybe at one point they didn't believe that you had it in you to go and explore these new ventures, to go and pursue your passions, to go and be independent, to explore your freedom. They always saw this potential in you, but maybe they thought if they kept you down, if they knocked your confidence, maybe they assumed that you wouldn't see this potential. This could be somebody in your past, a family member, a friend, a partner, somebody who wanted to keep you small, somebody who wanted to keep you in a cage, somebody who didn't want you to discover your full potential, somebody who didn't really want you to get out there and experience the world. With the Sword card coming through, it's making me think of you being able to explore new horizons, you having a shift in perspective. So this could be in terms of like the way you see yourself, and people are envious of this newfound confidence that you are developing in terms of your self-worth. Like if you've ever battled self-worth issues, whether that be related to body image issues or related to mental health struggles of some kind, or you just dealing with a lot of self-doubt, a lack of confidence, maybe a lack of social confidence or something like that, because when we got that card in the last reading, that's the kind of energy that I was picking up on. And maybe this is you really learning how to go above and beyond in terms of developing yourself, and therefore that expanding your perspective. So you are now seeing things in a different light. You are able to get a bird's eye view. It's like the person who is jealous of you, I think they are seeing you as so far above them, and they never wanted you to be in a place. And I don't think it's necessarily like you are looking down on this person or anyone in particular and thinking you are better than them, but it's just they wanted you to stay stagnant. They wanted to keep you in the same place. And now you are moving on. You are establishing a life for yourself. And it feels as though you are drifting away from that person, and maybe that they no longer have control over you, because if they once did, they are losing that control. Like you are fleeing the nest, you are escaping, you are exploring different things, you are going on new adventures, you're gaining different perspectives. And I think these are all things that this person, they never wanted you to do. I think they wanted to sort of keep your energy to themselves. They wanted to keep you small, they wanted to keep you insecure, so that you wouldn't go and do these things and you wouldn't, show them up in a way, because I think they have a lot of their own self-doubts, a lot of their insecurities. So it's like everyone around them, they wanted to keep in their place. So they wanted to keep you in your place. And so one example could be like this being a friend from your hometown, if you grew up in a small hometown or something like that. It could be, this person didn't want you to go and move to a different city and start a life for yourself. Or it could be that somebody in a similar role to you, like a colleague or something like that, didn't want you to expand your skill set and develop your skills further and further your education. They didn't want you to be above them in a career sense or something like that. This could even be people being jealous of the places you have been and the things you have seen and explored. It could be that people are jealous if you have been traveling or if you are going traveling this year or something like that. It could be that 2024 is a significant year for you in terms of travel. It could even be solo travel. Of course, it doesn't have to be, but just something about you flying and you getting to experience these new things. I think that is making a certain group of people jealous, because maybe they want you to stay in one place physically or metaphorically, and the fact you're not doing, I think it is upsetting certain people. Seeing you go out and spread your wings, it is hurting people because it is showing them what they lack. It is showing their inability to grow and to spread their wings. I think people have definitely always been jealous of this internal power that you have within you, because with this higher power card coming through, I not only get the sense that you yourself are very powerful, and I don't necessarily mean like you have to be physically intimidating or powerful or anything like that, but there is something about you. You have like a lot of internal strength, and I think people can sense this. I also think that you are somebody who has developed a very keen sense of intuition, and I think that people are jealous of your ability to read situations and be able to have the power in those situations. You could have been placed in circumstances in the past with people who made you doubt your intuition, who made you think you didn't have good ideas or you didn't understand people, who made you think you were silly for thinking certain things. But you have always been connected to this higher power. I think people might be jealous of the relationship that you have with some form of higher power, or the relationship you have with yourself and the way you have been able to explore your own wants and needs, and the way you have maybe been able to explore spirituality or just your connection with a higher power of some kind. It wouldn't surprise me if you are a very spiritual person, in the sense that perhaps you are a tarot reader yourself, or you are into spiritual things like that. Perhaps you know a lot about astrology, and maybe in the past people have made you feel silly for practicing these things, for believing in these things, and for doing these things. And maybe people haven't wanted you to find your success because they know that if you did, you in turn would find your power, you would find that sense of self confidence, and you in turn maybe wouldn't need them as much. And maybe these people wanted to keep you in a place of relying on them. Maybe people, like we said, they wanted to keep you small, they wanted to keep you grounded, they didn't want to let you dream too big. And I think this year in particular, it's like you have allowed yourself to dream big and really go after what you want. And that is you, stepping into your power and really showing your talents and your abilities. I think a lot of people are very jealous at how talented you are, and this could be in terms of a stereotypically spiritual gift, what we think of when we say spirituality. So this could be your ability to read tarot, or you could be a very profound manifester. You could know how to get what you want through manifesting, through spiritual means, through the law of attraction, or something like that. But it doesn't necessarily have to be stereotypically spiritual in the sense that we usually think. It could just be that you are doing something now that aligns more with who you truly are on a soul level. It feels more of like you stepping into your soul's purpose. This could be in terms of a career path or just a hobby, something you are confidently putting out in the world, something you are showcasing or you are thinking about showcasing. And it's like, people are so envious of your skills and abilities in whatever it is that you are doing. You actually have something magical. I'm getting the word magical for some reason, but you have something magical within you that a lot of people have seen, but they didn't want you to see. So, particularly, this person who's jealous of you, it's like they never wanted you to discover that you had that magic within you. It's almost like they wanted to like siphon it off for themselves. They wanted you. I think this is it. Like, if this is a friend or something like that, they wanted you to only use your magic when it benefited them. So this could be in terms of you investing a lot of time into this person, in terms of you always being there to advise them, to help them, to try and assist them in manifesting the kind of life that they wanted. But I think this person was quite selfish. It's like they wanted to keep all of your magical energy, your empowering energy for themselves. They didn't want you to be able to share your gifts with other people or something like that. I think this person in particular who is jealous of you is very scared about you going out into the world. And I think they're also scared about other people seeing the potential in you. But that is the thing, like, you cannot hide this power, you cannot hide this potential, you cannot hide this magic. These are all things that people can sense that you possess. I just don't think that this person wanted you to go and share these gifts with other people. And I don't think this person wanted you to realize all the magic you had within you, all the things that you had to offer yourself and the world. They wanted to keep all this magic to themselves, and it makes them incredibly envious to know that you are now working towards like your higher purpose. You are aligned with that higher power. You have a good connection, a good spiritual relationship with whatever entity you believe in that way. And I think people are really envious over the fact that you are going out and soaring, you're soaring high above, and you're really trying to cultivate your dream life. Even if 2024 hasn't been the best for you so far, powerful, and you feel as though these things aren't happening yet, it could be something you have been thinking about, like how you can develop personally, spiritually, how you can change your life for the better. And you could have had people around you who, because they were jealous, they've been trying to put you down, or they've been trying to make you feel as though your ideas are silly, or you are not investing in a worthwhile cause. Or even they could be making you feel like investing in yourself is not a worthwhile cause. Maybe they are making you feel as though you would be selfish for going out and spreading your wings and doing the things that you want to do. And it's really made you doubt yourself. Maybe you have been like in the planning stages for a while. Maybe you have been procrastinating about really putting yourself out there, about really going after this thing that you really want to achieve, because of the way this person has made you feel silly for wanting to invest in yourself and your own dreams and go after your goals in that kind of way. This person who's jealous of you, I really get the sense that they are somebody who might struggle with a little bit of main character syndrome. They feel as though like they should be the hero, they should be the inspiration in whichever story that they're in. And it feels as though they're the kind of person who then won't let you go out and soar and fly high above, because they want to be the person who is like the hero. They want to be the person who the narrative is about. It just feels like quite a selfish energy on this person's part. You know, this just makes me think of somebody who, like, if you do anything good in your life, if anything good happens to you, this will be the kind of person who always tries to put it down. So, I don't know, you could say, like, oh, I've got this job interview coming up. I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous. Like, I'm scared that I'm not going to get it, blah, blah, blah. And this person could then approach you and say, like, oh, well, yeah, you're probably not going to get it because I don't really think you have the credentials for that. Like, you don't have enough experience in that. And it makes you doubt yourself, but really, you do have a lot of experience. People can see the magic within you. People can see that you are an incredibly empowering person. You are an inspiring person. You are a powerful person. But it's like for a long time, you haven't realized it. And I think this will be the kind of person who, you know, this person who's jealous of you, they are like, always putting you down in that way, always making you feel as though you can't do this, you can't do that, always making you think about the potential barriers that you would have to overcome in order to go from A to B, in order to become the person you want to be. And I think sometimes you kind of let this slide because maybe you cared about this person and maybe you were thinking, like, well, they are just trying to keep me grounded, they're just trying to keep me realistic. Because I think something beautiful as well about your energy, Pal 4, is that you really come across as quite head in the clouds as well. With all the sky imagery we're getting, you come across as somebody who is a dreamer and somebody who, you know, is not afraid to dream big. I think we might have said that in the last reading when we got this card, but that is very much the energy that I'm getting. I think you have always had these big dreams within you and these monumental goals that you've wanted to go after, but what you haven't realized is that you have always had it in you to go and achieve those goals, but other people have maybe made you feel as though you can't. And again, you've put it down to, like, oh, this person is like trying to keep me grounded, trying to keep me realistic. But I think actually, to some degree, this person has been holding you back. And I think a lot of it comes from jealousy. They doubt that they can go and do these things and cultivate their own life. So they are trying to, like, pull you back down to their level. They are trying to pull you back down to earth, but not in the way that is just to keep you accountable and to make you responsible for your own actions. It's like they're trying to drag you down into the gutter with them. I don't know why I'm getting that phrase of, like, it being the gutter, but it's like they want you to roll around in the dirt with them or something like that. But you are not willing to do that. You are flying high, you are soaring, you are reaching new heights. And I think this person who's jealous, they don't want to see you reach those new heights. They feel like it says something negative about them if you are able to do XYZ and they're not. If you are able to achieve this goal and they're not. But the thing is, they're not doing anything to try and better their situation. And if you are, then you are not responsible for making this other person's life better. This sense of jealousy comes from this person's own lack, and I think it always did. But I think at certain points, Pal 4, you have been duped almost into thinking like you were the problem, or like this person has made you feel as if you truly weren't good enough, or as if they were more skilled or better than you, or something like that. It's like they put themselves on a pedestal and they try to make you think that you should be looking up to them, that you should be giving them praise, and that you are like a lesser version of them in some way. But you have always been way more powerful than what you give yourself credit for. But I feel like you also have an incredibly big heart. And I think this is also something that people envy about you, is like your capacity to love and your capacity to be free with your love. Like, I don't think you are the kind of person who is scared to give a compliment to make someone else feel good. I think people can be jealous of you, Pal 4, to some degree because they are intimidated by you. And if you are the kind of person that I think you are, where you do carry, you know, some self doubts, you've dealt with self consciousness, and maybe you are thinking, like, why would people be intimidated by me? Like, I am not intimidating at all. I don't know how to fight. I cry all the time. I'm really soft or something like that. I think you will be surprised to know how many people are intimidated by you and jealous because they can sense this power that kind of radiates from you. They can sense that you have so much potential to be able to go after what you want. I know I keep saying like potential, but it's like when they interact with you, you are like this triple threat in some way. So like you have the intelligence, you have a strong sense of intuition, you have the ambition, It's like you have it all, and people see this within you. So when they interact with you, they feel as though like you are so far above them that it makes them jealous. It makes them really feel their own sense of lack. It makes them feel as though they can't measure up, they can't reach the same heights that you can. And it just makes them feel really insecure and envious. I think you might be surprised to know how much potential people see in you. People think you are somebody who could get whatever you wanted if you put enough work into it. People think you are somebody who can get whatever you want, who can create this dream life for themselves. And this might surprise you because I don't think you're somebody who, like, you know, like sits around and thinks about all their accomplishments. I think you are somebody who is quite humble. And this is also something that people are jealous of because they are like, you know, how can Pal 4 have all this going for them but still remain so humble? I think some people try to convince themselves that you are arrogant. Like they will say, oh, well, Pal 4 knows that they are really amazing at XYZ, or they are really beautiful or handsome or something like that, so they must be really stuck up. It's like they try and find fault within you because they can't find any fault. And that makes them jealous. It makes them like, oh, like, I think this humble thing is just an act. I don't think Pal 4 is really that humble or something like that. But you are, and that is something incredibly beautiful about you and your energy. And in terms of people like being able to see this potential, I think people are jealous because whatever moves you're making at the moment, whatever you're doing, it feels as though you are only getting better and better. Like any obstacles you have overcome, you are only becoming more powerful. You are only changing for the better. You are growing in a very magical way. That is what I'm getting for the oracle portion of your reading, Pal 4. We are just going to end the oracle portion of the reading by looking at the astro dice, and then we will move on to the tarot. Please bear with me and we'll have a look at the astro dice. Pal 4. Okay, Pal 4, I can't believe this because in every single reading we have got the second house. We have got the second house in every reading. I swear we do have other numbers on this astro dice, but every time I've rolled it has landed on the second house. So the second house is showing up again. We also have Neptune showing up. We have Neptune and we have Aries. We have Aries showing up. So with Neptune showing up, that's making me think of Piscean energy. It's making me think of somebody who has always been a bit of a dreamer, somebody who potentially at certain phases in their life has had quite a changeable nature, maybe in terms of the way you presented yourself. Maybe you were somebody who, like, when you were growing up, you went through certain phases, like your emo phase, and just certain phases where you were very, very interested in like one particular style of music or just one particular style of clothing or something like that, or even just a interest that was very special to you that you focused on. And maybe like you changed a lot in terms of your interest. You went from one thing to another thing. You were just quite changeable in that sense. And I feel like, you know, for you, this was all a part of finding yourself. And now it feels like you have really been able to see who you truly are, because, you know, with Neptune energy, it always makes me think of illusion. It makes me think of things being distorted. And I feel like your sense of self was distorted because of the projections that other people have put on you, other very jealous people. Because I think, like we said, you know, people have always seen that you are powerful. And with this Aries coming through, that's leader energy, that's emperor energy, it's entrepreneurial energy, it's go after, get what I want, do what I want, nobody's stopping me energy. And I think people have always sensed that you have had that within you, but I think it has been kind of buried. And I think people have at certain points made you think out of jealousy that you weren't capable of doing certain things. And with this Neptune coming through, it's like you have finally started to see yourself for who you are. And this is something that is making people very jealous and very worried, because they are worried that you will cut them out of your life if you are finally starting to see your worth. Because with the second house, it talks about values, and it's like you have finally started to see your own value, what you bring to the table, what you have to offer. You are finally seeing your self-worth and you are finally putting yourself first. And I think because Aries as well, it's associated with the first house. So maybe you have in the past been a very selfless person. You have been an over-giving, over-generous, over-compassionate person. Because Aries and Pisces, like Aries is the first house, it's the house of self, it's the house of the physical body. And Pisces is very much the subconscious. Pisces is all about like disillusionment in many ways and almost like the dissolving of the self and merging. So it's like maybe this person who is jealous of you, maybe at one point it felt like your personality was merging into theirs because they made you feel as though like you had to be exactly like them, but almost like a lesser version of them. They wanted to keep you in that place and they didn't want the real you to shine through. And now it's like the disillusionment is fading, the illusion is falling aside. You are discovering more about who you are, and you are learning to value all parts of you. And you are stepping into this real leadership role with this Aries. And it's like some people are jealous of that. They're jealous that you have finally started to realize your own potential, and they are jealous of the fact that you have finally started to see yourself for who you truly are and that you have all these amazing attributes. They made you feel paranoid. They made you think that you wouldn't be good enough. They made you think that you couldn't go after your goals and this was all just a pipe dream. You couldn't soar, you couldn't fly, and you are learning that you can. And there's certain people who aren't happy about that because, again, they wanted you to stay in your lane. They wanted to keep you in this cage. They didn't want you to discover how powerful you actually are. I think this person who's jealous has always been in a competition with you of some kind, with Aries coming through. It's like they've always been competing to be better, to be stronger, to be more powerful, to be more beautiful or more intelligent, whichever way it applies to your situation. There's always been this sense of competition. And now it's like due to the personal or maybe spiritual development that you have done, you can see this situation for what it is, and you can see that a lot of this person's attempts to put you down, it did come from a place of jealousy and a place of their own lack. It's you realizing that maybe this person has been holding you back and you stepping into your true power by, putting yourself first more, being like me first for once. I think one of your most envied attributes is your ambition, your drive, maybe this newfound sense of self-confidence that you are getting to go after what you want and to achieve all the things you want to achieve and make this beautiful life for yourself. One of your most envied attributes is your leadership energy, your leadership skills, your ability to be the boss, to be the king of whatever you are doing, to be in that emperor energy, and this newfound sense of self-confidence that you are developing. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about the sticker that you picked. This eye roll card is actually so funny because it could be, and like obviously if you've listened to most of this reading now, I would assume that you've been able to take something from it and that some parts you agreed with. But I very much think like when I started talking about how powerful you are, powerful, and how much potential you have, and in particular, like when I mentioned about you, developing confidence and being a leader or something, you could be the kind of person who was like rolling your eyes, like, yeah, this is not my pile. Like, that's not me. Like, maybe you just kind of stuck around to see what I would say, to see if anything did resonate. But it's so funny because like you are only just realizing these things about yourself. I think that is one of the most beautiful things, is like you didn't even, other people saw this in you, but you didn't see it within yourself. So I think some of these things that I'm saying, it's like you've dealt with so much self-doubt due to things that maybe the people around you have instilled in you, that maybe you roll your eyes and you think, oh, like, no, this just isn't me. Like, this is a nice confidence boost, but it's just the nosy witch trying to flatter me or something like that. But what you don't realize is that these things really are true. It's not like, I just don't believe that it is a coincidence that we got 3 cards that are about flying to some capacity. Like, I just don't think that is a coincidence that we got soar, higher power, and wings. So you might not think that it's true, but I'm telling you that it is. And I think you'll be surprised to know how many people have always seen this within you and how many people have always known this about you. And if you are just starting to discover these things about yourself, then I am so glad that I've been able to confirm that message for you. But also another thing that I'm getting with the eye roll is that like that is literally your spirit guides. If you align with having spirit guides or anything like that, I feel like every time you have doubted yourself, every time you have dealt with these insecurities, which you know we all do, this is like your spirit guides being like, ugh, when is Pal 4 going to realize that they are amazing and powerful and magical? When are they going to step into the most empowered version of themselves? And I feel like now that you are doing, if that is a journey that you are on, this is still your spirit guides because they are like, oh, finally, like, finally, Pal 4 is starting to realize their full potential. But this is only the first stage of that. I feel like you have so much more to offer, maybe in terms of your spiritual gifts, perhaps psychic gifts or something like that, or just in terms of your creativity, something that resonates with you at a soul level. I feel like you still have so much to discover in terms of that, and I'm just getting that this is only the beginning. And yes, some people are going to be very envious of that. They are going to be very upset about all these newfound gifts and the things you are going on to achieve, the way that you are soaring into this next phase in your future. But ultimately, they are going to have to get over it because nobody can stop you spreading your wings in this way. Oh, just a little bit of a side note as well. When I was talking about higher power, it made me think of like you being somebody who astral travels a lot in dreams or something like that. I don't know why. There could just be this connection with Neptune coming through. There could be this connection with the 12th house because that is a very spiritual house. So again, it could be that people are jealous that you are spiritually gifted, that you are capable of things like astral travel, of exploring things in your dreams or something like that. You could be a big dreamer in terms of the goals that you set for yourself within your mind, but also you could be a big dreamer in the sense that you have really profound and intense dreams, maybe very vivid and realistic dreams or something like that. So that is what I'm getting for your oracle reading, Pal 4. I hope you are enjoying the reading so far. If you are enjoying it, please stay tuned for the tarot. We are about to get started with the tarot in just a moment, so I will see you in your tarot reading. Hi Pal 4 Collective! Welcome to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pal 4, we have the Page of Wands. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. We have the Hierophant. We have the World. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Three of Swords in reverse. We have the Five of Wands. I believe that came up in pile 3. And we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, pile 4. So, you know, we were saying in the oracle portion of your reading that, you know, the person who might be jealous of you, or, you know, people who are jealous of you in general, one of your most envied attributes is the fact you are soaring, like you are reaching new heights. And I'm definitely getting this feeling with the tarot portion of your reading as well, with you literally getting the World card. It feels like you are getting to the stage, Pal 4, where the world is at your feet, like the world is yours for the taking. And it feels as though you have done something in your life, you have bettered yourself in some way, whether that's in terms of just changing your perspective, developing your beliefs, connecting with something spiritually that you feel has bettered you, or you have developed in terms of education, like with this Hierophant card coming through. If you have gone into further education or you have acquired a new skill, even if it's just something like you put off learning to drive and you have learned to drive or something like that, or you have literally gone to like college and university to develop your skill set, to do something, to gain that extra knowledge. It's like the doors are opening for you. The doors are finally beginning to open. It feels as though you are establishing this real sense of belonging in whatever it is that you are setting your mind to. And now, like, it just feels as though you have more options. Like, because on this card, the raccoon, you know, I love this World card in this particular deck. It's like the raccoon is looking at that ice cream, but then they've got the banana in the other hand. They just have these choices. They have multiple options. Everything is there laid out in front of them. They just have to take it. They just have to take that chance on themselves. And I feel like in recent, it could be months or could be years, powerful, but it feels as though you have been taking more chances on yourself and you have been developing your sense of confidence and, going out of your comfort zone to do new things, to be adventurous with this Page of Wands. And I think someone specifically is very jealous of this, and somebody feels as though they have almost like let themselves down. With this Five of Cups, that can talk about disappointment and feeling let down. I feel like this person sees themselves as a disappointment and they are jealous of all the things that you have been able to go out and achieve. And they are just very envious that they haven't been able to step into that energy for themselves. I think this person specifically is very jealous in terms of the people who you have been collaborating with, or the people generally that you have been spending time with. So, particularly if you have done a course or something like that, you have stepped foot into education again and you have developed friends or social communities that way, or just if you volunteer somewhere or you have a job somewhere and you have established a rapport with people in that particular community. I think you have someone in your life who is very jealous of the friends you have made with this Three of Pentacles and the kind of teamwork that you are participating in with these people, the group collaborations, the group efforts, the things you are working towards. I think this person feels shut out. They feel like grief, maybe that they can't have access to you at all times if this used to be the case, if this is like a friendship or something like that, or like an ex-partner. It's like they're jealous of the friends you have made and they're jealous of not being part of this community, because as well, like on this card in particular, I don't know, it's like, let's say that's you and you are leading this group and they are really interested in implementing your ideas, so they are listening intently. It's like, but you have this raccoon over there and they are interested as well. They are peeking around the corner to see what you guys are talking about, but they feel as though they can't quite get in there and join. I think this person, maybe they themselves could deal with social anxiety. Maybe you have even dealt with social anxiety in the past. And I know if you experience social anxiety or being introverted or anything like that, it's not just something that you can get over. Like, you can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to go and talk to everyone and I'm going to be so confident. It doesn't work that way. You have to take these little baby steps over time. But with the right support, and if you need to take medication or anything like that, with the right medication and all the right support in terms of therapy, in terms of counseling services, if you have access to that, you can make those small baby steps to bettering yourself in that way. And it looks like you reached a point like where if you did have social anxiety or just general anxiety or depression of any kind or something like that, mental health struggles in some way, it's like you have really tried to advocate for yourself and overcome these struggles. And I think this person is feeling like they have let themselves down because they haven't felt as though they've been able to do that. And obviously, everyone has a different set of circumstances. I can't sit here and say, oh, well, this person should have done this and they should have done this. But all I know is that regardless of, what this person has experienced in terms of their anxiety, I know that this person should not be trying to drag you down. And I know, powerful, that you do not have to feel guilty in any way for the fact that this person hasn't yet been able to come out of their comfort zone in the way that you have. We all learn and grow at our own pace. That is completely reasonable. However, you should not feel guilty for 1 minute for being able to do some of the things that you are doing, for being able to achieve certain goals, because you have worked incredibly hard in order to do that. And you do not have to feel bad. It's like, I feel like you are giving this person the opportunity to come and join you at these events, to do XYZ, but it feels as though this is the kind of person who will be like silently resentful. They will repress some of their emotions when it comes to this. With this Three of Swords coming through, it's like they'll repress their emotions, but at the same time, it's like they'll almost try to make you feel bad for like going out and creating a life for yourself. And it's not as though you're saying to this person, like, we have to, I don't know, let's say this person is struggling with a mental health condition or like social anxiety. And if that has been something that you are in the process of overcoming and you're trying to get out of your comfort zone, it's not like you're saying to this person, you have to come to social events with me, you have to come to parties, we have to go on a night out, we have to go to a loud gig, we have to do this like in the community. It's not like you're forcing them to do that. I think you will be quite happy to, you know, go and see this person at their house and still do something that's a bit more introverted, like if they are not comfortable, you know, doing nights out and things like that. That is just one example, obviously. So it's not like you're forcing them out of their comfort zone, but I think they are resentful towards you and jealous over the fact that they can't do some of the things that you are doing. And I think maybe if there was a time where you were more introverted, you were spending more time indoors, maybe with this person, or you were seeing a lot more of them, because now it feels like you might have more obligations. You need to spend time with different people and do different things because you have more responsibilities. It's like this person is feeling envious, that it feels like you are growing apart from them. I don't think you're giving them any reason to feel this way. I think it's just your responsibilities have changed, but you are still making time for this person. But it's like this person feels as though you're in some way moving on without them, like you're developing into this better person and you're more able to step out of your comfort zone. This person isn't, and I think they are really struggling with that. And I don't even know if this is like necessarily a person who wants to feel this way. It's like they feel this competition with you with this Five of Wands, but this seems like a slightly different energy to pile 3. It's like this person doesn't want to feel this way, but they feel silently jealous towards you, and it's quite a difficult one because I feel as though sometimes, maybe even unintentionally, this person tries to make you feel bad for like going out and doing the things you want to do. And maybe there are some moments where you do feel a little bit bad. And I think sometimes you feel pity for this person, like you feel sorry for them. And you're like, oh, well, maybe I should cancel my plans to do XYZ, like go and do this amazing thing to spend time with this person because they're having a hard time. Because I think you are quite selfless like that, powerful. But ultimately, like, you deserve to go and enjoy the world. You deserve to go and explore the world. I'm not saying like if you have a good relationship with this person and if generally you believe that they are a good, genuine person, but they have, you know, maybe some toxic tendencies that need working on. But if you get something from your relationship with this person, I'm not saying you should just like end the friendship or the relationship or anything like that. But I think you definitely deserve to invest in yourself and your own hobbies and the things that you want to do. This person might be trying to sort of bring you down because they are just jealous that they can't go and experience these things. It feels like there's something that's holding them back. If it's not like a mental health condition or anxiety or anything like that, it could be in terms of like their culture and their traditions. If they are from a background where it wouldn't be like congruent to their beliefs, that if they were to engage in some of the same things that you're engaging in, perhaps if like you have really developed spiritually and you have established yourself within a spiritual community of some kind, or you are into like exploring your psychic gifts, your spiritual gifts or something like that, perhaps if that's something you want to talk about with this person, maybe they have been like reluctant and they have been sort of side-eyeing these things with some caution because of their background, because of not believing the same things as you. It feels like something to do with a clash of beliefs to some extent. So this could even be like if you have developed your education, if you have developed your skills, you could have like grown out of some of the more toxic beliefs that you once had in the past. It is giving me this energy of like, do you know, this person feeling inadequate next to you in terms of your development. So like this sense of, you know, you and this person being from a small town, and it's like this person has never managed to get out of like a small town mentality. So maybe they have beliefs that are no longer in alignment with yours because you have gone out and seen the world, you have met different kinds of people, you have developed yourself culturally and spiritually, and it's not like you're sitting there and saying like, oh wow, I'm better than this person, like I know so much now and this person knows so little. It's like you are inviting them to join you on these journeys, but for whatever reason it feels like they can't. But instead of them, you know, being like, oh well, let's be respectful that we both have like our different beliefs, but we can still be here for each other. It's like it sometimes feels as though they are resentful towards some of your beliefs, or they think that you're saying that you're better than them or something like that. So it's like they create this sort of conflict sometimes. But I think it's just because they feel inadequate, they feel insecure, because you have developed so much and they feel as though they haven't had the opportunity, like they have developed so little. But I think a part of them feels really disappointed in themselves, like they've let themselves down because they haven't gone out and done some of these things that they wanted to do. Maybe they were too anxious. Maybe it was just like a family or cultural thing. It just felt like something was holding them back and they couldn't do some of the things that you're doing. And I just think they feel quite down about it in general. Maybe this is a person who feels under a lot of pressure to abide by social conventions, and maybe this is something you have overcome or you have had to overcome. Maybe there was one stage in your life where you were like this, like maybe you and this person were similar in that regard. Maybe, if this is somebody who you have known since you were like a teenager or something like that, obviously our beliefs should develop a lot from the time we are teenagers to the time when we are adults and our brains are fully developed. But maybe this person, it doesn't feel as though they have developed much past that. So it's like they're still in that similar mentality of being in high school or something, and they haven't really gone on to explore the depth of the human experience in many ways. Like they don't really maybe question a lot of the beliefs they have in the way that you do. So it feels as though this difference in beliefs, it has led to some kind of conflict between you and this person. But I think they repress a lot of this. They sometimes keep a lot of it to themselves. But I think sometimes they feel jealous of you because you have managed to like escape the prison that like social conventions have imposed on us. And I don't mean that in the way as like you go out onto the streets naked or something like that. Like you think, oh, F social conventions and you don't wear clothes, or like, I don't mean it in that way, but it's just, I think you question things a lot more than you used to. And this person, I don't think they've got to this stage of questioning things. And I don't think it comes from a bad place. I just think it comes from maybe this person not being exposed to some of the variety of experiences that you have been exposed to. So it's like they don't really question things. They still feel pressured to abide by social conventions. This could even be something as simple as you embracing your body and no longer catering to like the male gaze in terms of how you style yourself or in terms of your body or something like that. Obviously, that's not going to apply for everyone. I don't want this to be, just a gendered thing. I talk about female experiences a lot because obviously I identify as a woman and I know what it's like to be a woman. So that is kind of what I'm talking about. But if you are a woman and like you grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s, if you remember what that was like, it was horrific in terms of like body image issues and eating disorders and things like that. So it could be that if you and this person, you're both women and you grew up during that time and you face scrutiny for the way your body's developed, and maybe you were always trapped in that sort of back and forth of like diet culture and things like that, it could be that you have like escaped that mentality. You have escaped that prison of feeling like you have to conform to one particular body type, feeling as though, potentially you had to starve yourself to fit in a certain size. And maybe this person still feels paralyzed. They still feel trapped by the prison that they're in. They don't feel as though they've fully been able to escape that mentality. So now it's almost like they feel quite resentful of you at how free you now feel. The Knight of Cups in reverse can sometimes talk about vanity. So it feels like this person is still very much focused on aesthetics. So this could be in terms of their literal body, how they look. It could also be social conventions in terms of how they come across, how well they will be accepted by other people. And I think sometimes they try to project some of their feelings of unworthiness onto you. So it's like you could have escaped that mentality, for example, of being in diet culture or having issues with your body. And now it's like you have time to focus on so much more because the focus is no longer just on your aesthetics. It's not about how you look. You've got out of that teenage mentality of caring about those kinds of things as more, and the world is now at your feet. There is so much more to explore. You have realized that, but it's like this person hasn't. So I think in many ways they're jealous of the ways you've been able to develop in terms of your mentality and your growth and your ability to focus on other more important things. They still feel stuck and trapped. This is a hard one as well because I feel like this person who's jealous of you, it's like they don't take all the opportunities that you have tried to give them. So, this could be the kind of person, I don't know whether it's due to their social anxiety, if they deal with that or anything, or just who they are as a person, but it's like they always want people to come to them. Like, so you could, invite this person out with your new group of friends. If you have got a new group of friends or a community, you could invite this person, and if they do come, it's like they expect everyone to come and talk to them and ask questions and be interested in them, but they don't really contribute to the conversation. There is something about them maybe that's quite reserved and quite guarded with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse. They can be a little guarded with people. So sometimes it might be difficult for other people to kind of get them talking. And I think sometimes they don't appreciate that, like, yes, while they might be shy, while they might deal with social anxiety, so do other people. But it's like they expect other people to do all the work for them in terms of conversation. And maybe they come away, if they feel as though somebody hasn't made the effort with them, they might badmouth that person to you. They might say, like, oh, well, Sandra, I feel like I've used that name before in these readings. I don't know why, because I don't even know anyone called Sandra. But they could be like, oh, Sandra didn't really make the effort with me. Like, she wasn't really talking much to me. And you could say to this person, well, like, did you talk to Sandra? And they're like, well, no. But like, they think that Sandra should have made the effort to talk to them. It's like they don't realize that although they might have some of these problems, other people have these problems as well. But like, it's not an excuse all the time. Like, yes, it can be a reason to some capacity of why we might struggle to socialize, to do certain things. Yes, we all have different capabilities. Some of us might find it easier to interact and socialize than other people, but it's like they think everyone should come to them. They think they should be given like a medal in a way just for existing sometimes, and it can come across as a little bit entitled. Maybe if this person is attractive, or people perceive them as an attractive person in high school or something like that, it's like they've stayed stuck in this mentality of thinking that will get them by, and they will be approached by everyone will come to them, and maybe they have relied on this sort of superficial thing instead of sort of developing in terms of their spiritual growth, or in terms of like developing a solid personality. Even I think a lot of this is like this person doesn't really know who they are, and I think they are very envious of you because you are really starting to realize who you are through developing your spirituality, through you potentially moving out of your hometown or getting a different kind of job, just really growing up and doing things independently, and you not being willing to stay stuck in the same mentality that you have been in for a long time or something like that. Yeah, so when I said like this person could be a bit entitled, it's given like with this Nine of Cups in reverse, that can sometimes indicate arrogance. And I don't think this person doesn't come into a room and fully like extrovertedly vocalize how amazing they are. It's not like that. It's more of like a quiet arrogance and a quiet entitlement of thinking people should come to them, and like not getting involved in conversations. They can maybe sometimes come across as a bit snobby. Like, they are reserved, but I think sometimes it can come across as though they are looking down on other people, maybe because of some of the beliefs that they have not developed since their teen years or since childhood or something like that. Maybe, they are very uncomfortable with getting out of their own comfort zone and really exploring different beliefs, different cultures, different ways of being. And maybe people don't connect with this person that easily because their snobbery kind of comes across, their way that they might look down on other people. Other people can sense this, and I think it puts them off a little bit, but this person doesn't really have the full capacity to self-reflect on why other people maybe don't gravitate towards them the way that people gravitate towards you or something like that. But it's like this person can come across as quite snobby, and I think this person is now quite unhappy because you literally have the world at your feet. That's how they feel, that you have the whole world to go and explore and it is yours, and they just don't feel as though they can push themselves enough to go out of their comfort zone that way. So they're just kind of remaining in this unhappy energy. I think a lot of this could be sort of repressed jealousy, because it feels like, I don't think this is an incredibly confrontational person. You could have felt like a simmer of something under the surface with this person, but I think with this Knight of Cups in reverse, a lot of this person's resentment comes out in the form of moodiness, in the form of them trying to guilt trip you into maybe doing something you don't want to do, guilt tripping you into like not doing the things that you want to do, guilt tripping you into feeling bad for them. It comes out through like tantrums, but they don't explicitly tell you the problem. I think they avoid conflict quite a lot. They avoid confrontation. So maybe a lot of this isn't said on the surface, but I would assume that you can certainly feel it in the atmosphere. And this person definitely does harbour some jealousy towards the way you are moving, the things you are doing, the things you are achieving, who you are becoming. This person is very envious of that. It is one of your most envied attributes, the way you are moving up in the world. Okay, that is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, pile 4. We are just going to finish off by looking at a little bit of advice from the Soul Truth Oracle. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at the card we pulled for you. Okay, pile 4. So we got the card, Do I Believe I Am Worthy? And I'll read out what's on the back for you. You are worthy, you are deserving, you are loved. Start seeing the divine beauty within you and go out and claim the life you have dreamt up. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Today's soul action. For a big goal or dream you have, ask yourself, do I feel worthy of this? Today's mantra, I am worthy of it all. Pile 4, I think this is so incredibly important for you to remember, because I think, due to maybe this person in particular trying to guilt trip you for going out and living your best life, doing the things that you want to do, I think at certain times, because you are empathetic, because this person has maybe made you feel guilty, it's like you haven't felt worthy of doing these things. Maybe you have thought to yourself, oh, well, should I be going and doing that? Do I deserve this? And you really do, pal, for like this card is literally saying, it's literally, sorry, I keep saying literally, but it's what we said in the tarot, in terms of the world is yours, the world is ready for you to explore, the world is ready for the taking, the things that you want to do are right there. Where this says your crown has been bought and paid for, put it on your head and wear it, it's like this is for you. If you are doubting whether something is for you, if you are wondering whether you are worthy, whether it is truly yours, whether you can go and achieve it, this is very much saying to you that you are worthy, you can achieve it. It is ready, like this was always meant to be yours, and it's not going anywhere, because only you, with your unique perspective and your different way of doing things, can really go and get this thing done the way that it needs to be done. So never feel guilty, never feel bad for putting yourself first. People might try and make you feel as though you are not worthy of these good things, but you really truly are. You have worked hard, just as hard as anybody else, if not more so, in order to be able to achieve some of these things, and you need to take these opportunities when they come to you, and you need to not feel bad about this. Like, do not feel guilty for 1 second, because you very much deserve this. You are getting what's coming to you, but in the best way possible, and don't let this jealous person stop you from living your best life, is what I want to say. You are worthy of it all, and that is all I have to say, pal 4. Please don't forget that. That is very much what I'm getting for you. I really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did enjoy it, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me, and I would just appreciate it so much. Thank you for being here, pal 4, and I'll see you in the next one.